Day, plenty of sunshine, the high inching up near 90 degrees. Rain chance goes up late tonight. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Updating Israel at wars. Thousands of people in Tehran flood the streets to flee the city this morning following warnings from both Israel and President Trump. The U.S. has repositioned warships and military aircraft in the Middle East just in case it's needed to respond to the fighting. Correspondent Rami Inocencio says he's been talking with both Israeli and Iranian insiders.
First off, they tell me that Iran just wasn't expecting this massive scope of Israel strikes, and that if the Ayatollah, who is 86 years old and supreme leader since 1989, isn't in deep hiding, well, he should be from all those strikes.
Israel says it's targeting Iran's nuclear program, even taking out some of the country's top scientists and other officials in the field. You can tune in often for the latest in the conflict between Israel and Iran. We'll have coverage at the top and bottom of every hour and when it breaks. The polls remain open throughout the day around Georgia for a pair of seats on the Public Service Commission. And if you're heading out to cast your ballot today, you likely will not have to wait long.
Voters have not been rushing to the polls to have their voices heard ahead of Election Day. Data from the Secretary of State's office shows just 1% of voters have cast ballots. UGA political science professor Dr. Charles Bullock says that's not entirely surprising, even though the office is important.
Public Service Commission is probably for most Georgians an invisible office.
He believes that most of the people voting are those hyper-aware of politics with a strong opinion. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
That's part of a settlement worth more than $7 billion. Georgia will receive up to $126 million from Purdue Pharma and its owners over the handling of the opioid epidemic. Missy Owen lost her son to heroin and now runs a drug recovery organization in Marietta.
Too late for the hundreds of thousands of people who have lost their loved ones, when it was all based on a lie.
Now, the Sackler family, which owns Purdue, is accused of deliberately lying about the safety of the opioids. Georgia-based United Bank reaches an agreement with workers who are forced to sell stock in their company.
The 9-month-old proposed class action centered on a 2021 amendment to the employee stock ownership plan that blocked former United Bank employees from being able to hold their stock until age 65. The former workers said that by converting the stock to cash, they were underpaid for their shares.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti says the workers claim they were prevented from sharing in a dividend totaling more than $23 million. And whether it's accurate or not, for the first time, social media is now the #1 source for news in the U.S.
The Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism found 54% of Americans get their news from social media. 50% turn to TV news. 73% of the Americans polled say they're worried about being able to tell what is true online.
And reporter Michael Wallace says that last number actually bodes well for traditional news sources, including radio. The study's author insists accuracy and reliability are especially important with the rise of artificial intelligence. It's 9:03. Mark Aram Show begins in less than 2 minutes with Shelley Winter. But first, the live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start with Triple Team Traffic and Smile Mark McKay.
Better flow of traffic now. It's not great between Smyrna, Viningston, Dunwoody, and Sandy Springs, but appears the crash has cleared. It had a couple of lanes knocked out. 285 eastbound at Roswell Road, exit 25. Still difficult getting out of the I-75 interchange. 400 still feeling the pain between Alpharetta and Roswell, south of Old Milton Parkway to Holcomb Bridge Road. And the 85 delays are still in place as you leave Highway 316 rolling to Norcross. So is Peachtree Boulevard, all stacked up. Jimmy Carter Boulevard headed south to I-285. A lot of folks are just sitting on that downtown connector, Ashley Frasca.
Authorities did have to hold all lanes in Midtown to clear a crash on 7585 northbound near 10th Street. That is now on the shoulder. All lanes are open, but that has you almost at a standstill all the way back at 166 Langford Parkway. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy this afternoon, hot and humid, high 89. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening through the midnight hour, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high near 90. Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, high 91.
76 degrees in Union City, 75 in Loganville, 74 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Yes. It's Tuesday morning at 9:05. My name is Shelley Winter. I'm filling in all week for my little brother, Mark Aram. And you heard in the news broadcast the studies on where people get their news from. Well, I have a piece of that study that was at the bottom 100% of Georgians get their news from 95.5 WSB and the Mark Arum Show, and I hope you all are going to enjoy this morning up through 12 noon because I'm filling in for Mark. Let's start right here. Israel, Iran, the big news. Are we at war? Are we going to war? What I want to talk about, so President Trump left the G7 summit last night. He left it early, and he said, I've got to get this Middle East situation. I've got to de-escalate the Middle East, what's going on in the Middle East between Iran and Israel. And he says because he left the 2-day summit early because, quote, because of what is going on in the Middle East. And that's Carolyn Levitt said that's why President Trump was leaving early. There was a joint statement made by the G7 leaders, and it says, in this context, we affirm that Israel has a right to defend itself. We iterate our support for the security of Israel. That was a joint statement made by the G7 leadership. But here's the most interesting part of all of this. So I'm filling in for Mark. So many of you may not be familiar with me and my show. I normally air 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday on this great station, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. I'm on every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tonight, I'll be back on the air at 7 o'clock for my regular show. So for those of you who don't know me and have never listened to my show, because obviously you're listening in the mornings and you may be home at night or whatever, you may not be familiar with me. I can be described as a MAGA guy. I'm a supporter of President Trump. I voted for him in 16, 20, and 24. As a matter of fact, the last election, I spent an inordinate amount of time on my show pushing for people to vote for President Trump in 2024. And so I would be MAGA, right? If you were walking around and you said, hey, Shelley, is he? Yeah, he's MAGA. But I'm also one that can disagree with this administration, and I have every right to, right? When I vote for you, I have more of a reason to disagree with you than anybody else because I voted for you, right? I have that right. I have that ability, and I should be able to. So one thing that's going on that we see around this whole Israel-Iran thing is this inner MAGA war between those like myself who are non-interventionists, non-forever war people, non-neocons, and are not a warmonger. That's me. And I've always been this way. It's not like I just became this way. I've always been this way. I've never understood why America went into far-off lands to spend blood and treasure to defend other people, or even what can be defined as American interests, whatever that is. Usually it means corporate interests. So I've always been the way I am. And I've always pushed back against the neocons, the warmongers. And the reason why in 2016, actually 2015, when Donald Trump announced in that August, one of the reasons why I jumped on board and I moved away from supporting Rand Paul in that primary to Donald Trump, a new candidate, a guy had never run for office before. One of the reasons why was because he talked about this non-American interventionist policy, not going around the world dropping bombs and bombing people and getting involved in other people's disagreements. And so that's one of the reasons MAGA has such a diversity of people within the MAGA movement. And what we're seeing now around Israel and Iran is that diversity of thought. You're seeing the Mark Levins and the Sean Hannitys and the neocons and the warmongers all siding with, hey, we've got to bomb Iran. We need to get in here. We need to get involved. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Now, no one on the other side, on my side, the Tucker Carlsons, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, and so forth, we don't disagree with the assertion that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. We don't disagree with that. What we disagree with is us jumping in and sending troops and to Israel to defend Israel to bomb Iran. We don't agree with that. We didn't agree with it by the results of the election. We didn't agree with it when John McCain said bomb, 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 bomb Iran. Remember that? He lost that election, if you remember correctly. Why? Because many of us did not agree with that. What are you talking about, you warmonger? That's why he lost. And he lost to a guy, a senator, who was only a senator for a couple years, African-American, with a funny name. And lost badly, by the way. And that was one of the reasons. And so now there's a fight within MAGA. Donald Trump tweeted out, "Somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that, in capital letters, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon." Well, President Trump, with all due respect, no one thinks they should. But it doesn't mean we need to bomb them. So Marjorie Taylor Greene comes in behind that tweet. Now remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like myself, like Tucker Carlson, are huge Trump supporters. Tucker Carlson rallied with Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson pushed Donald Trump's candidacy. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, whatever you may think of her, is a huge Trump supporter and was all over the place at rallies supporting Donald Trump. And myself. And we all feel the same way. Marjorie Taylor Greene answered Donald Trump. This is not her answering somebody. This is her answering Donald Trump, who she supported. Tucker Carlson is one of my favorite people. He fiercely loves his wife, children, and our country. Since being fired by the neocon network Fox News, he has more popularity and viewers than ever before. He unapologetically believes the same things I do. That if we don't fight for our own country and our own people, then we will no longer have a country for our children and our grandchildren. And foreign wars, intervention, regime change put America last. Kill innocent people, are making us broke, and will ultimately lead to our destruction. The thing about her response to the president that makes it so very interesting is that, one, she's a supporter. The thing that makes it so interesting of Donald Trump's tweet about Tucker Carlson and calling him kooky is that it speaks volumes to President Trump, about President Trump, excuse me. Tucker Carlson's a supporter. Why would you call him kooky? You can say you disagree with him. You could simply say, "Somebody please explain to Tucker Carlson that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon." That's fair. But why would you call the man kooky? Because if, in fact, he is kooky, then a kooky guy supported you. Should that take away his support from you? Should we all look at Tucker Carlson and say, "Oh, my God, Tucker, you're kooky. I shouldn't have listened to you"? This is the problem that I have. I should be able to disagree with you. I should be able to speak that disagreement, especially if I supported you. If I didn't support you, I have no skin in the game. I can just say, "Oh, I didn't support you, and this is why I didn't." That's fine. That's fair. But if I supported you, if I spent, in Tucker Carlson's case, my Twitter page, my Twitter show, my online show that attracts millions of views, if I went on there and said, "Hey, man, you need to vote for Donald Trump," we had no new wars. It's one of the things we touted as Trump supporters. No new wars in his first term. Now, within the first 6 months of you being inaugurated, we are possibly looking at possibly going to war with Iran on behalf of Israel, who can certainly defend itself. That's the problem here. We have always had a principle. People like myself, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Tucker Carlson, and many millions of other MAGA supporters have always had the principle that we're not going to send blood and treasure to defend other people. Now, this idea that Russia's getting behind Iran, well, we heard that in Vietnam. The commies, we got to stop the commies in Vietnam. We keep hearing that over and over and over. We need to get involved because they're going to come for us next. Death to America. We should believe them. Okay, well, when they come here, we'll get them. We'll defend ourselves. But until then, it's my belief, and the belief of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the belief of Tucker Carlson, and I'm not an anti-Semite. There are those that are trying to spin Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene as some sort of anti-Semites that don't like Israel. I love Israel. I support Israel's right to defend itself. But I'm also an anti-interventionist. We sell Israel arms. We have an intelligence agreement with them. We work closely with them. They are fully capable of defending themselves. Don't send me this propaganda that you've used time and time and time again to draw America into foreign battles. We got to stop the commies. We got to stop Russia. We got to stop China. This is what they do. And then they tell you that if you voice this opinion, that somehow you're an anti-Semite. You're an anti-Semitic. You don't like Israel. You don't like the Jewish people. That's when you know it's propaganda. When the neocons, the warmongers, go on their shows on TV, radio, and print, and wherever they are airing, on YouTube or any place else, and they start calling name and casting aspersions against the character of those of us who are not warmongers, nor supportive of elected officials who are also warmongers. Because truth be told, we have allies in Western Africa, which has been under assault by radical Islam for decades. I never heard Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, or anybody else, Lindsey Graham or anybody else, advocating going into Western Africa to get rid of radical Islam, where there are resources, minerals, and growing democracies. They've never advocated for us bombing those places, getting rid of those people, getting rid of those radical Islamists. So why should I get involved and listen to them about going into Israel, ladies and gentlemen? That's my opening statement. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Let's go check traffic with Ashley Frasca. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, good morning, Shelley. Good to have you back in the host seat this morning. Still shaking out delays into Sandy Springs. That earlier crash is cleared, 285 east before Roswell Road, but you're heavy on the brakes as you make your way up from South Cobb Drive and slow downtown as well, but that'll improve 75-85 northbound, trying to head up from University Avenue. Earlier crash in Midtown that was at 10th Street has cleared to the shoulder. Traffic brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The FAA says the flight crew was reporting possible smoke in the flight deck.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
Beef prices are going up.
Your 24/7 news source.
They had no ties to a gang, but they were killed by them.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Let me tell you, folks, Breda has got the bugs beat at the Aram house. Hey, it's Mark Aram, and my local friends at Breda Pest Management know my house inside and out. They've customized a unique treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters. And let's face it, we live in Georgia. We have bugs. We have a lot of bugs. We have critters. We have a lot of critters. We don't want the bugs and critters inside our home. That's where Breda comes in. With Breda, always a familiar, local person servicing my home and answering my calls, never an irritating automated call center. And the folks that come to my house, they're friendly, they're nice, they do an amazing job, and they care. Breda cares more and will work harder for you. They're our neighbors, and they've invested in our community, and doing it better is what the Breda family does. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
I need to tell you folks that change is always happening. It's a big part of life. It's Mark Arum here. You know, when it comes to music, change, it's all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. I listen to stuff a lot different than I did 20, 30, 40 years ago. But no matter how things change in 5 years, the one thing that will stay the same, the price of your internet. Xfinity, introducing a 5-year price guarantee. Means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Well, life's full of them. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. New residential customers only. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. All the details online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Shelley Winter filling in for Mark Arum. Man, I got to tell you, Vinny, you saw it happening. I got to tell you guys this. I want to continue. First of all, let me finish my thought from the earlier segment. One of the things about talk radio is that we have these timed out segments, right? And so we have to go to break. And sometimes it's kind of frustrating, but you have to do it, right? Because those are the rules. So let me finish my thought, take your calls, and then I do want to tell this quick story of what just happened, right? So let me say this, because I know many of you may have this thought. If an American soldier or army personnel or even citizen is harmed in any way, shape, or form by Iran, I fully support us taking them out. Okay, that should be obvious to most people. However, I will say this: if we have Army personnel, Marines, soldiers, sailors, and everything in harm's way, they're more likely to get harmed by Iran's bombings. Okay? So I understand that part. So if you do want to call in, and feel free to, 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK, understand that myself, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, all the people that are non-interventionists in world skirmishes and wars and things going on in other countries, all of us understand that concept, and we're not pushing back on that concept. Okay, we're just pushing back on a concept that we don't want to be the world's police because it's too costly in real money, in dollars, and also and blood. Because if Russia is behind Iran and China is getting behind Iran and all of these enemies of the United States and other countries, what they want to do is force us to drop bombs, spend munitions, spend money, spend blood to weaken us. That is their goal. And our goal should be to strengthen ourselves, strengthen our country by letting other people fight their battles. And that's our point. But I got to tell this quick story, Vinny. So I'm talking in the last segment, right? And as much as I'm confident on the radio and as much as I throw my chest out on my opinions, and I'm Shelley Winter, talk radio host on 95.5, when I'm talking and my program director comes walking around the corner, I become like a puppy dog. I've been like, oh, no. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to James really quickly. James, go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah, the three people you were talking about, yourself and the Tucker Carlson and Ms. Green, y'all all consider yourself Christians, right?
Okay, I know where you're going, but go ahead and go there, and then I can answer you. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I'm calling to talk.
Yeah, no, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Go ahead. Good. Yes, we do. Go ahead.
Okay. Christian people that know the Bible understand that we are under the protection of God because of our protection of Israel.
That is not true. That was totally made up. You tell me.
You don't know your Bible.
No, you don't. You don't know, sir. What you know is propaganda. No, what, James?
You want to use that Christian when it's just.
No,
it's okay
James, let me be very clear. My Bible tells me no war, no murder, no killing. That's what my Bible teaches me. It teaches me that. It told me that. My Bible tells me to love my neighbor as I would love myself, sir. So don't come in here and tell me I don't know my Bible and you're preaching war and using the Bible to push war, because you sound no differently than those who push the Bible to push enslavement of other people. Do you understand me? My Bible teaches me to love my neighbor. My Bible teaches me to turn the other cheek. My Bible does not teach me to bomb a country because that country's at war with Israel. Now, you know who started that? Israel started that 40 years ago when they realized that Christians that can be taught that if Israel goes by the wayside, the second coming will coming. And so what happened? James Lahan and a whole bunch of authors started writing books about the end times. That's where it came from. Thank you for your call, James. Call at 12 o'clock. He can better talk to you about that subject. I'm sorry. Tell me I don't know my Bible. Go to church every Sunday. Raised in the church. Been going since I was a child. My Bible doesn't teach me to go to war. My Bible teaches me to love others, no matter who they may be. If your Bible teaches you to go to war, if your Bible teaches you to take advantage of people, if your Bible talks to you about bombing other countries and bombing women and children, I don't know what Bible you're reading. It might be the New King's Version. We'll be right back. Shelley Winter in for my dear brother, Mark Arum.
It's officially time for Zero Res's annual summer sale. Take advantage and get 15% off all cleaning services. Mention Chris Chandler to secure this deal today or book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res. All they leave is clean.
Got a leaky pipe? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with everything you need to fix it, including the expert to do the fixing. Heating or cooling issue? We've got a trusted pro for that, too. We're not just the helpful hardware folks. We're the helpful home service and repair folks, too. From plumbing to heating and cooling, the licensed and insured experts at Ace Hardware Home Services are ready to keep your home running smoothly all year long. Get help today at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Sleep apnea could be silently wrecking your health. Untreated, it spikes your risk of heart disease, strokes, and diabetes. Are you snoring loudly? Waking up exhausted? Your body's sounding the alarm. Don't ignore it. Are you frustrated with a CPAP? Those bulky masks and noisy tubes aren't for everyone. Palmetto Sleep has a better answer. Custom oral appliances. Quiet, comfortable, and perfect for mild to moderate sleep apnea. Sleep better, feel better. No sleep lab needed. Get an at-home sleep test in your own bed, often covered by Medicare or your company plans. Save your health. Call Palmetto Sleep now at 770-230-0222. That's 770-230-0222. That's 770-230-0222. Palmetto Sleep, your health deserves better. Call 770-230-0222. That's the phone number. Get a good night's sleep now. Call Palmetto Sleep.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Chet Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story, updating Israel at war, the ongoing conflict with Iran. President Trump now back at the White House this morning after cutting short his trip to the G7 summit in Canada. Correspondent Jordana Miller says the big question now is what will we hear next from the White House?
Everyone here in the region, wondering what President Trump's next move will be, since it could dramatically impact what's happening, here on the ground.
Trump announcing last night people in Tehran should evacuate following the latest strikes from Israel. That led thousands to hit the road in the city and flee with no end to the fighting in sight. So far, the U.S. has mainly stayed out of the conflict, but the president admits he has not ruled out sending in troops. Tune in often for the latest in the conflict between Israel and Iran. We'll have coverage at the top and bottom of every hour and when it breaks. It is 75 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it'll be another hot one around town today. High getting up near 90 degrees, plenty of sunshine, chance of rain going up late tonight. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. A man from Metro Atlanta is indicted on federal charges of threatening lawmakers from out of state.
Robert Forney is accused of making calls to a couple U.S. senators back in January. U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg tells WSB that the 25-year-old from Duluth left messages for Senator Ted Cruz at his office January 9th, threatening sexual violence against Cruz and his family. Then,
the following day on January 10th, Mr. Forney allegedly called Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer and threatened sexual violence against her as well.
Forney is facing federal charges of communicating threats, and despite being indicted, he's currently not in custody. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
Well, the Atlanta City Council takes action to protect the city's tree canopy. That follows months of discussion.
I just want to congratulate colleagues on passing what is probably one of the most substantial updates we've made to our tree protection ordinance in over 25 years.
That's Atlanta City Councilman Jason Winston calling it a step forward, but some activists say it doesn't go far enough to protect current trees. The ordinance increases fees for removing trees and doubles fines for illegal tree removals. Atlanta-based Equifax rolls out a new tool aimed at helping government agencies verify applicants seeking benefits.
The Atlanta-based credit reporting firm says its new complete income tool verifies income automatically by tapping into W-2 payroll information and consumer bank deposit data. Equifax says the new tool is aimed at helping state, local, and federal government agencies process applications for benefits like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, and Medicaid. The new cloud-based tool will be available in August. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
Boy, a sobering warning from one of the scientists who actually helped create artificial intelligence. Nobel Prize-winning computer scientist Geoffrey Hinton says AI could one day decide humans are no longer needed.
It's smarter than us, right? There's no way we're going to prevent it getting rid of us if it wants to.
Hinton also warns of other AI threats, including mass cyber attacks, bioengineered viruses, and even mass unemployment. It's 9:33 as we check your money. Downstart on Wall Street. All major indices are currently down as the bell rings. Now live team coverage to traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center in Ashley Frasca.
Watching that slow ride through downtown Atlanta on the connector 7585 northbound. The worst of it begins just before University Avenue, trying to get up past Freedom Parkway, and 85 south pretty crowded in from Brookhaven. Those delays begin back at Claremont Road. And look out for maybe mud in the roadway, but Hero units are blocking off the far right lane. 285 south below Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, and construction continues out on the East Freeway, a little slow in both directions, I-20 around Panola Road. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 89. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late tonight, fizzling out after midnight, lows in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high near 90. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, high 91.
77 degrees in Conyers, 74 in Austell, 75 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Chet Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It's the only way to do any kind of reform of the federal government.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I don't remember.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
Who are you speaking for?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter filling in for Mark Aram. When we come back, I want to talk about the story of Mario Guevara, a Metro Atlanta-based Spanish language reporter who is in ICE detention center as we speak. I want to talk about that. Also, I see I fired you guys up, so we'll take some calls as well.
Yeah, about 12, 13 years ago, I remember sitting in the house watching TV when I noticed that one of the walls looked different. It was a darker shade than the rest of the walls. Upon further investigation, it was soft and wet to the touch. You know, not having any plumbing in that area, there's only one real explanation. My roof was leaking.
Dave Baker for Finley Roofing, the roof guys.
So I needed a new roof. Like any major repair for my house, I checked out a bunch of companies. Only one company passed all my criteria, though, Finley Roofing. The roof guys. Finley Roofing was the perfect match when it came to getting a new roof. Turned out they really are the extra effort experts. They treated my home like it was their own, tearing off the old shingles, installing new ones. They were neat and cleaned everything up, and I didn't pay anything until the job was complete. Right now, Finley is offering upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. When it comes to roofing issues, think of Finley first. See them on the web at finleyroofing.com.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we make mattress shopping easy. We offer our lowest and best price to everyone, every day, so you can shop when you're ready. We show you exactly what's inside of our mattresses so you can see and feel the quality for yourself to ensure you're getting the best value. And we offer a no-pressure shopping experience. Our team is here to help you find the best mattress for you. It's that easy. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate is the easiest way to sell your home. Now you can save time and make the most money and eliminate all hassles this summer. Hey, Sean Hannity, Mark Spain Real Estate can sell your home with the strongest all-cash offer in the industry and help you move on your timeline. With over 67,000 satisfied clients, you can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast. Go to markspain.com and start packing.
There was a time I didn't believe it all. He is a friend of mine. That's for all of you that will question my Christian values because I don't want to go to war to defend another country. He is a friend of mine. There was a time when I did not believe. That's the great Eddie Kendricks. He is a friend of mine. He's talking about Jesus. He is a friend of mine. Just to make it clear, I don't mind you disagreeing with me. I really don't. This shows like this are set up for that. Hey, I made a point. You call in and disagree with me. That's fine. We could do that all day. I love it. By the way, my name is Shelley Winter. I'm just filling in for Mark Aram all week, and I come back tonight for my show at 7. Feel free to call in tonight at 7 o'clock. We can have a full disagreement. But please don't start off your statement by saying, you, Tucker, and Marjorie Taylor Greene call yourselves Christians, right? Well, the Bible calls for us to defend Israel. Not mine. Not my King James Version. Calls me to love my neighbor as I would love myself. Calls me to turn my other cheek. Turns me to make my enemies into my friends. That's what it tells me. I don't know about yours. That's what it tells me. So, as I said, I'm on every night, 7 to 9 p.m. I'm going to take your calls. Everybody hold on. But I need to talk about this story. This is what I'm about to do is a very rare thing. I don't do it often because I don't feel it necessary to do very often. Okay? But I have to do it now. I have to issue, excuse me. Wow, where did that come from? I have to issue a mea culpa. I have to issue an apology. I have to issue an admittance that I may be wrong on this particular topic that I'm about to talk about. Now, this doesn't happen a lot. For those of you who listen to my show at night, it doesn't happen a lot because I'm pretty strong in my opinions, and I can defend my opinions because they're well thought out. I don't do propaganda. I don't do narratives. Nobody tells me what to say, and I usually say what I think, even though I think my audience may disagree. Like in the first segment, if you're just joining me about going to war. Putting boots on the ground is what I'm talking about. But in this case, I have been talking about due process. The left has been screaming due process, due process, due process when it comes to illegal immigration and deporting people. And I very strongly, up until last night even, I very definitively and very aggressively said due process doesn't extend to illegal immigrants. They've already broken the law. They're not citizens. And I argued it. I've been arguing that for weeks now. But this case here, it made me realize what the left is talking about when it talks about due process. So I must issue an apology and say that I had it wrong. That takes a lot for me to say, if you know me very well, but I have to say it. So let me tell you the background. Mario Guevara, and we tried to reach out to his attorney. Hopefully he'll reach back out to us and return our call and we can get him on the show. He's a Metro Atlanta-based Spanish language reporter who built a mass audience with his coverage of immigration raids. He could be deported following his arrest I'm reading from an article, following his arrest at a protest over the weekend. According to his attorney, ICE detainers are requests for local jails to hold detainees an additional 48 hours beyond their scheduled release dates so they can be picked up by federal immigration officials. Right? So here's the thing. The fact that an ICE detainer has been issued in Guevara's case means that the federal government believes that the El Salvador native can be deported. Right? So Guevara, who's a reporter, Spanish language reporter, was one of 8 people arrested Saturday at DeKalb County protest targeting President Trump's immigration enforcement. So 8 people were arrested in DeKalb County. It was over the weekend. He was one of them. He was there to cover the rally, live streaming the event for a social media audience that exceeds over 1 million people. His attorney said that Guevara lacks permanent legal status, although he has a work authorization and a path to a green card through his U.S. citizen son. ICE detainers are not warrants, and individual jails can decide not to honor them and release immigrant detainees before 48 hours requested by ICE are up. DeKalb County Sheriff's Office has taken steps to limit their compliance with ICE detainers under certain conditions. But Diaz, Guevara's attorney, says DeKalb authorities may choose to keep Guevara behind bars long enough for him to be transferred to ICE detention, where he could face deportation. So here's a guy, he doesn't have permanent legal status, but he has a work authorization and he has a path to a green card through his U.S. citizen son. There's another story out of L.A., East L.A. A U.S. citizen owns a auto body shop. He's born in the U.S. He's a citizen, has everything. He's a citizen. He doesn't have a green card. He's not on temporary protected status. He's not on a work authorization. He's a citizen. ICE raided his body shop, and he was detained and had to prove that he was a citizen. And that's where I kind of side with my left-leaning friends when they scream due process. Because I get it now. I've always been against roadblocks, right? I don't know if you know what those are. They used to have them here in Atlanta and Cobb County, especially, for years. They stopped doing it, but they used to have them for years. Like, that's where a bunch of police officers just set up at a stoplight, usually around the corner from a club, and just stop people. Just stop them. Can I see your registration and ID? For no reason, right? And I've always screamed that this is completely unconstitutional because you're stopping me for no reason. You're detaining me. You're depriving me of liberty and the freedom to move based on you trying to find out if I've already done something wrong. I've never been for roadblocks. I understood stop and frisk in New York City. I understood the need for it, but I was always against it based on the Constitution. A kid is walking down the street and the cops just roll on him and say, let me search your bag. Let me check your ID. I was always against that because it was against the Constitution. And I see it now with these immigration raids. You're going into businesses and you're forcing a citizen. In many cases, they're citizens. Some of them are not. But you're forcing everybody, by virtue of where they are and who they are, to prove to you before they've done anything wrong who they are. I'm against that. I'm fundamentally, as a conservative constitutionalist, against that. Because I don't want anybody to pull me over and say, and when I roll down my window with my driver's license in my hand and I say, hey, officer, what have I done wrong? And he says, nothing, we're just checking to see if you have warrants. I've always been against license readers that pull up behind you and just run your tag. I've been against cameras, traffic cameras, that just send you a ticket out of the blue. And like a lot of conservatives in the state of Georgia, I'm against security cameras in school zones for that very same reason. We understand the need to protect children from speeding cars. But if you're just going to have a camera there and I'm 5 miles over the speed limit and you're just going to send me a ticket, oh, no, that's not right. If you're going to send me a ticket when school's not even in session in the summertime or the nighttime, that's not correct. That's not right. You're just a money grab. And the same way roadblocks, they will tell you, oh, we're looking for wanted felons. Well, then why do you give people tickets for having, I don't know, no insurance or expired registrations if you're just looking for wanted felons? And the same thing is happening here. And what's going to happen? So before you guys jump up and down and tell me that I'm somehow not a conservative or a sellout or something like that, let me explain to you the bigger picture. The Democrats in 2026 midterms, the Democrats are going to run a bunch of stories of citizens being detained and having to prove that they're citizens before they've done anything wrong. And when that happens, we're going to get smoked. When I say we, Republicans are going to get smoked in the midterms. Historically, midterms already go bad for the party that holds the White House. But it's going to be even worse when Democrats start running stories of U.S. citizens being detained and having to prove who they are before they've even committed a crime. Because that, my friends, is against the Constitution. And if you're a conservative and you're for the Constitution, you should be wholly against this. I understand the need to deport criminal illegal immigrants. And I know the term is kind of the same thing. You're an illegal immigrant, you're a criminal already. But I get it, and I understand it, and I agree with it. But there's got to be a better way that does not destroy the rights of citizens to not be detained and have to prove they're citizens. I have a good friend of mine. She's a friend of a friend. She's a friend of my cousin. I've known her many years. I'm not going to say her name, but she's Hispanic. She's a U.S. citizen. Do you know what she's starting to do? She drives with her passport because she's terrified of being stopped and asked about her citizenship. That's scary. And when her story, which is being seen all over the country by the thousands, when those stories become campaign ads during the midterms all across the country at the state level and the federal level, we will get hammered at the polls. Shelley Winter, 404 872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Let's go check traffic with Ashley Frasca.
The crowds continue through the heart of the city on 75-85 northbound up from University Avenue, trying to clear Freedom Parkway, and 85 south. You're still pretty heavy on the brakes beginning back at Claremont Road into that Brookwood merge with I-75. And we have some delay now ramping off of I-20 eastbound onto 285 south on the west side. There's some dirt and gravel spilled in the right lane past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Traffic brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Don't be late because you're crowdsourced your commute with a navigation app.
This might become a travel advisory. Yeah, they're in 2 left lanes.
Depend on us.
See some delays if they shut that ramp down.
Make sure you get where you need to be on time.
Jam starting at Langford Parkway, getting past Spring Street.
Local and dependable traffic 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
WSB Triple Team Traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
Windows are supposed to frame the outside.
Instead, you see wood rot, fog, moisture between the panes. Maybe they're drafty or leaky. Upgrade now to beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows to improve energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal.
It's Jonathan and Ted from North Georgia Replacement Windows. Experience the Infinity fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom.
0% interest available.
Infinity from
Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed, and insured. No muss, no fuss. Trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Got a leaky pipe? Trouble with your AC? Ace Hardware Home Services now has the trusted pros to fix it. From plumbing to cooling, we'll keep your home running smoothly all year long. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com or call 770-233-7787.
All right, so picture this. I'm pulling up to the house after a long day, and I almost thought I was at the wrong place. The siding was sparkling, the driveway was spotless, the deck looked brand new, and the roof looked like it had been replaced. Well, what had actually happened was I had booked Wise Guys Pro Wash to come by while I was away, and boy, they had crushed it. One call, a quick quote, next day service, and they didn't even need anybody home. They're not blasting your house either with high pressure or a box store pressure washer. Wise Guys only uses the best equipment in the industry. They soft wash everything, so it's safe on paint, trim, siding, everything. My home from top to bottom looks brand new. We actually had company that weekend, asked if we had renovated. Nope, just one visit from my friends at Wise Guys Pro Wash. If you want your house to shine for the summer, do what I did. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com before they fill up.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Come on, sing it!
When I close my eyes and think of you and reminisce on all the things you do, I can't imagine my life without you. It's like paradise now, I know that it's real.
Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum all week long. I'm here till noon. Then Eric Erickson comes on 12 to 3, and then the Von Hessler Doctrine with my good friend and brother, Eric Von Hessler, and then I'm back on tonight at 7 p.m. Starting tomorrow, 7 to 9 p.m., tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, Alan Sanders will be filling in for me. So please check him out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. But I'm here all week for Mark Arum. Let's take a call, and then someone actually studied the over-under with, toilet paper. Do you go over? Do you go under? Someone actually studied what's best. And I've got to mention it, but let's go to the phones really quickly. CeCe in Stone Mountain, go ahead.
Hey, Shelley. I listen to your nighttime show.
Oh, thank you,
It's
CeCe.
nice to hear you. Nice to hear you in the morning. You kind of upset me, but here's my premise.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
a military family. 2 generations Army Rangers, Special Forces. I'm not an isolationist, neither am I an interventionist, but I'm also a Christian. And I have an issue with your saying that the Bible does not say, what you said it said. But it starts right there in Genesis 12:2. Those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who oppose Israel will be cursed.
Right.
We have a duty. I've been to the Middle East.
So we're taking everything in the Old Testament, because I thought the New Covenant was in the New Testament. So we're taking everything in an Old Testament? Because if we are, we
When
can.
it comes straight from God.
I understand that. My sister,
Testament
my dear
and the New
sister,
Testament.
my dear sister, many Christians see the New Covenant under Jesus Christ in the New Testament. So I'm just asking, if we're taking everything verbatim from the Old Testament, we can do that. I don't mind doing that. We can do that.
Okay,
All
we
right.
do live in the
All
age
right.
of grace.
Right.
but
So
it
so
is
we're going to
throughout
take
the Bible.
those who protect Israel have a covenant, and those who curse her or hate her will be cursed. Okay, we can use that from Genesis, right? The first book of the Bible. Right? Okay,
Also
we could take
Numbers.
that. We could take that. We could take that. That's not a problem. We could take
But
that.
is it
Is
from
it
your
the new Israel or the old Israel? Because that book was written way before this Israel was there. This Israel is a new Israel.
It's from the Torah.
No,
It is from
this
the
Israel
Torah.
is a new Israel. You do realize that, right? Because it's new people here, right? The Israel that we have existing now, and I hate to be controversial about this, I love Israel. I'm going there for Christmas to New Year's because I want to go to the Holy Land, and I have very strong relationships in the Jewish community and the Israeli community. But you do realize that the Israelis that are there now came from Eastern Europe after World War II. So are we talking about this Israel or 2,000 plus years ago Genesis Israel? Because that's what you're mentioning. So that's what I'm asking you.
Based your premise.
No, my premise is I'm not
wait.
going to war. I'm not going to war. Period.
But
That's my
from
premise.
Your premise that the people in Israel are not the original Jews.
No,
that
I didn't
means
say that. I didn't say that at all. That's not my premise. That is not my premise. My premise is you're quoting from a book from 2,000 years ago, knowing that there's a new group of people in the area that we call Israel now. I'm not being controversial. I'm just telling the truth. And I'm not calling out any original Jews or non-original Jews. I'm simply making a distinction, because you're talking about something that was written 2,000+ years ago and applying it to today, which is fair. We can do that. But we don't do that with any other country. You do understand that, right? When Mexicans say California is Mexico, we don't say, oh, well, that's a long time ago. We conquered you. So let's apply the same rules to everybody equally. Or let's not apply them at all and do what's the right thing to do. I fully support Israel's right to defend itself and blow anybody off the map it wants to if it's going to get rid of Israel. I fully support that. What I don't support, because I didn't vote for it, was us putting boots on the ground in the Middle East. Period. That's the difference. I love you, Cece. Please keep listening at night. Love you. We'll be right back. Shelley Winter in for Mark Aaron.
It is summertime in Atlanta, and unless you're living in the pool, it is just too hot to be outside, right? So where are you and the kids? Inside, doing crafts, eating popsicles, and yes, making messes. Paint on the floor, popsicle drips in the carpet. It adds up fast, but don't sweat it. Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning has your back this summer. It's Chris Chandler, and Zero Res is the only company I trust to get my home insanely clean. With their powerful ZR water technology, Zero Res cleans like magic with no harsh soaps, no chemicals, and zero residue. Means your carpets stay cleaner, fluffier, and healthier longer. And now's the perfect time to book, too, during the Zero Res Summer Sale. Get 15% off carpet cleaning, air ducts, area rugs, upholstery, tile, and grout, all of it 15% off. Just mention me, Chris Chandler, when you book to lock in your discount. Visit ZeroResAtlanta.com today to schedule. And don't forget, Zero Res offers commercial cleaning, too. Zero Res, all they leave is clean.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long,
And your budget is tight.
and your village is busy,
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/heard.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Happening right now, Colin Gray, the father of accused Appalachia High School shooter, is in court right now. He and his lawyers are asking the judge to reconsider the decision to have the jurors come from Hull County, saying they still feel that they can't get a fair trial with a jury from Hull. Colin Gray accused of providing the weapon used by his son Colt in that shooting that left 2 students and 2 teachers dead at Appalachia High School in Barrow County. Colin Gray facing a total of 29 charges, including murder in the second degree and cruelty to children in the second degree. Check back. We're watching this right now. We'll let you know what the judge decides. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be partly cloudy, hot, and humid. Scattered storms late in the evening with an afternoon high of 89, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. President Trump racing back to the White House overnight, cutting short his G7 summit in Canada. The sudden move followed the president's warning on social media that Iranians should evacuate Tehran. The president later saying he just wants people safe. Mary Bruce is following the story and has more now from the White House.
The president was supposed to be waking up in Canada this morning for a second day of summit meetings. Instead, last night, he suddenly canceled and left with little public explanation. Now, later this morning, the president is expected to meet with his National Security Council in the Situation Room. Trump telling reporters there on Air Force One that he decided to race back to the White House so that he could, quote, be a little more well-versed and not have to rely on phones as he navigates this crisis.
All right, and we'll continue to follow that story, too. Check back for updates. It is Election Day here in Georgia. It's part of the special election for 2 seats on the Public Service Commission, but early turnout has been low.
Voters have not been rushing to the polls to have their voices heard ahead of Election Day. Data from the Secretary of State's office shows just 1% of voters have cast ballots. UGA political science professor Dr. Charles Bullock says that's not entirely surprising, even though the office is important.
Public Service Commission is probably for most Georgians, an invisible office.
He believes that most of the people voting are those hyper-aware of politics with a strong opinion. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Detectives are renewing a call for the public's help in solving a 4-year-old murder case, the murder case of Catherine Janis. She and her dog stabbed to death at Piedmont Park back in July of 2021. An autopsy showed she'd been stabbed more than 50 times. Her girlfriend, Emma Clark, found her body near the entrance to the park at 10th Street and Charles Allen Drive after she used her Find My iPhone map to find her. Crime Stoppers asking for the public's help. Tipsters can remain anonymous and could be eligible for a $10,000 reward. One Metro Atlanta City is looking for a quieter 4th of July this year.
On the heels of a state law that goes into effect July 1st, Milton City Council unanimously agrees to place a ban on fireworks within 200 yards of anyone with horses in an enclosed space.
I know as a horse owner, it's really important to our citizens. This ordinance is.
The board says this covers any private fireworks people would shoot off in their yards because any larger firework displays would need a city permit. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
All right, let's check your money this morning. We're in the green. The Dow's up 317 at 42,515. NASDAQ is also up more than 1.5%. And the S&P's up almost a full percent. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. She has a look at your roads.
Hey, Sabrina, tracking some delays out of Flowery Branch. Got a stalled bus. Traffic trooper Jim spotted it. At times they're in the right lane with it on 985 South past Spout Springs. The tap of the brakes there. A little slow on the west side perimeter. Some dirt or gravel in the road in the right lane. 285 South past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. And road work continues in the right lane into Cobb County. I-20 East past Wesley Chapel. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy this afternoon, hot and humid, high 89. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening through the midnight hour, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high near 90. Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, high 91.
It is 78 degrees in Dunwoody. Scottdale has 79, and it's 78 right now in Johns Creek. We'll have more news at 10:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum. I'm going to do this for the last time because we're not going to belabor this point. First of all, let me say this. My show airs Monday to Friday, 7 to 9. I'm filling in for Mark. And I got carried away, got opinionated, got fiery, got back and forth with listeners. And I know that's not Mark's show, so I apologize. So I'm going to continue to do Mark's show, the show that Mark Arum does every morning, because I'm simply filling in. And, you know, let me peel it back a bit. Because I don't want to mess up the flow of what he does every single day. Okay, and I can get fiery, so I'll be back on the air tonight at 7 o'clock. We could pick up this conversation then, and feel free to call in. I'll let you talk for as long as you want, and we can go back and forth and have a great time 7 to 9 p.m. But people that are listening at work and in their cars at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, they're not listening for me to be yelling and screaming at people and talking all loud about my opinions and yelling about the Bible and all of that kind of stuff. But I will leave you with this. And this is the problem when you invoke such a big book that I believe in, that I think is the inherent word of God. You tend to find yourself in situations where you will scream about Genesis and Israel, but then you will have a wild hog dinner at your church on a Sunday. You'll cook a whole hog, pork chops and all, even though Leviticus tells you can't eat pork. You will scream, well, Genesis tells me, but you'll run home and make pork chops. I can go on and on, but I'll leave it right there. You're not supposed to eat pork. You know how many Christians homes I've been to, and they've cooked a whole hog in the backyard on a Saturday, and then went right to church on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. service, suited and booted. But I don't know my Bible. Let me get back to, see, I just apologized and then went and did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. I apologize again. Okay, let me stop. I'm going to keep it moving. I do want to get to this over-under on the toilet, on toilet paper, but I'm not going to do it now because we need to talk about these political assassinations. Excuse me. There's something fascinating about what's happening, what happened in Minnesota, and I am trying to reach out to a former state representative in Minnesota. Someone has put me in touch with her. I'm waiting for her to call me back. She worked under the Speaker of the House, who was Speaker of the House, who was murdered with his wife. So we're trying to get her on. But I kind of want to talk about these political assassinations. And I think the more I view what happened in Minnesota, so for background, 4 people, 2 were shot, all elected officials in Minnesota. 2 were wounded. The kids of the wounded couple called the police. So imagine a child seeing their parents shot and wounded and have to call 911. And when 911 came to the house, they figured, oh wow, this could be targeted against political officials. The Hoffmans live a couple miles down. Then they raced to the Hoffmans' house only to find them already murdered. And so now everyone's talking about the political ideology of the shooter. I say he's crazy. I really can care less what his ideology is. I can care less what the ideology of the young man that shot up the softball game and shot all Republicans, nearly killing one. I did not care about the political ideology of the assassin who tried to take Trump out there, but he turning his head. He'd not be president. He wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? Ideology for me, it doesn't mean much except to say that these people are crazy, right? But it is fascinating to me that this happened this past weekend, and the story has essentially died out. The Trump assassination nearly took out a sitting president, And the first reaction by the media back then was it was fake. It was faked by him. It was fake blood. Look how he stood up. Look at his shoes. All of this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, are political assassinations, which is going on, it's not something rare anymore. You have elected officials who are now looking for protection from not only their states, but possibly going to hire more security. Ilhan Omar and several Democrat Congress people were criticized heavily by Republicans for hiring outside security. Cori Bush hired her husband's security firm. Now, she lost her race, and that was used against her. I'm wondering what people think now. Now, let's be clear. It does look extremely funny that you would use federal taxpayer dollars to hire security, whether you need it or not. And we're seeing now that quite possibly they do need it. Many people get death threats. Many people on radio, people in media, right, get death threats all the time. Some people take them very seriously and hire security. Some people not so much. I was at an event yesterday. AtlantaBlackStar.com is a media website, news website, and they have a whole week of panel discussions. And I was on a panel yesterday with several prominent people that were there. The panel discussion before mine, Reverend Jamal Bryant was on that one. He has security. There was a security guard it was at the Thompson Hotel. It's going on all week. Shameless plug, it's free. But the Thompson Hotel is in Buckhead. There was security there. People hire security because there are crazy people in the world. And so Cori Bush got criticized for hiring her husband. Ilhan Omar, Jasmine Crockett, all have security because of death threats, and Republicans will criticize them. Oh, you're spending taxpayer dollars. But it's real, as we could see with this political assassination. My point of talking about this is I hope that we don't get to the point where we're so jaded about politicians being targeted by crazy people who are devoid of any sanity, like we did with school shootings. School shootings now happen, we talk about them, and then they go away. When I first started in radio, my former producer going way back several years, his name was Brett Barney, whenever there was a school shooting, he would tell me, like say the school shooting was on a Monday, he would tell me this is the story for the next 4 days, the school shooting. Now a school shooting happens, and this is the story for the next 2 segments on the same show. The Appalachia shooting you hear in the news today, it's because the dad is having a motion hearing. That's local news, that we should cover that. But it really, we're not talking about Cody, the son, or the shooting itself. It's kind of gone away. And it's not that it's a bad thing. It's gone away because other things have happened. It's kind of the nature of news. But it certainly has left your psyche. It certainly has left your mind. And that's where school shootings have become. They're so prevalent. They happen so much. Mass shootings, school shootings, however you want to describe them, they happen so much that we kind of, they're regular crime stories now. When there was a time when we would focus on every different angle of a school shooting because it was so rare. Children were shot in school. Oh, my God. How can you not be outraged? Politicians were wounded and killed this past weekend in a state. We should be terrified of that. The fact that nearly 20% of Americans feel that political violence is okay in certain situations should scare every single one of us. Should terrify us. Because politicians, there's an old scene in Dirty Harry. One of the greatest scenes, one of the greatest lines in a movie I ever heard. And Dirty Harry, if you remember. No, it wasn't Dirty Harry's. Yeah, it was Dirty Harry. And they were going after cops. They were murdering cops. And the sergeant, the head of Dirty Harry's, Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry's character, the head of this precinct, said anybody crazy enough to shoot a cop puts every citizen in danger. In other words, what he was saying was, if you're willing to walk up to a police officer who is armed in uniform and kill him, then the average citizen stands no chance. We've got to catch this killer. I'll never forget that, because he was absolutely right. Same thing goes for politicians. You're not a politician, I'm not a politician, but we all should be terrified. Because if someone is willing to walk up to a politician, knock on their door, and murder them because of their political views, forget right, left, conservative, Democrat, whatever, rhino, patriot, liberal, progressive, forget all those terms. If someone's willing and crazy enough to kill an elected official, then you and I, with public opinions on social media, where we share our thoughts, where we go on TikTok, where we go on YouTube, where we go on Facebook and share our opinions, we don't stand a chance. Because those politicians can afford security paid for by our taxpayer dollars. And I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. But I can't afford security. You can't afford security. That's what's very scary about these political assassinations. Let's go to Mike. Mike's been holding. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Shelley, how you doing?
I'm wonderful.
Good. Hey, listen, first of all, I want to say I really agree with just about everything you're saying. I don't believe we should be involved in foreign wars either. I don't think we should be involved in the Ukraine. I don't think we should definitely have boots on the ground. However, there's one exception that I have, and that's Iran. And that's because if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, we were just talking about anybody crazy enough to shoot a cop, anybody crazy enough to use a nuclear weapon, which would be Iran, they're going to use it as soon as they get it. And that means that Israel's going to respond in kind. And Pakistan's already said if Israel responds in kind, they're going to get involved. Now, all of a sudden, you're talking about nations with intercontinental ballistic missiles. And in my opinion, if Iran gets, they're working on a delivery system. They have missiles, ballistic missiles that go 1,000 miles.
Right.
Sorry. But if they get an intercontinental ballistic missile, do you think for 1 minute they're going to shoot it at us?
I don't think for 1 minute. I don't think for 1 minute. But here's my problem, Mike. I believe Israel can defend itself, and if Israel wants to take out Iran's nuclear infrastructure and take out Iran's nuclear nuclear weapons capability, have at it. We're helping them. We're providing them with intelligence. We're providing them with missiles. We're helping them defend their country. We're doing everything we possibly can. I don't want boots on the ground because I understand that. I understand, Mike. But what I'm saying is we can always use the preemptive measure to send troops into anywhere in the world that we want to. Hey, China's backing Western Africa. Let's go take over Western Africa. This has been a useful tool against the American people to get warmongers, to get them to do their war bidding, and I'm against it. That's it. That's just my simple thing.
I would agree. Let me just say one other thing.
I got to go to break. I got to go to traffic, Mike. Thanks for your call. I got to go to traffic. Let's go check traffic right now.
Watching live on the Jam Cam, they're blocking all lanes for this dirt and gravel spill cleanup on the west side, 285 south past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. So that's a temporary red alert as you head below I-20. Shouldn't last long, though. And still some delays on the inner loop as you travel 285 north up toward the Vinings area. And that road work continues on the East Freeway. They have the right lane blocked. I-20 East past Wesley Chapel. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates. Injured? Give John Foy personal injury lawyers the first shot at evaluating your case. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. John Foy & Associates, the first call you should make to protect your rights. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Every year for the 4th of July, my family invites over friends, and I get a big box of burgers and franks from Omaha Steaks, and we grill out. It's going to be the same this year. Right now, for the 4th of July sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at Omaha Steaks. Just like me, I don't get a special. I take the discount as well. And you can use the promo code ERIC at checkout and get an extra $45 off. So it's already 50% off site-wide. And then you put in ERIC as your promo code, and you get $45 extra off, minimum order required. You get unparalleled quality from Omaha Steaks. It's deliciousness. Get the burgers, get the gourmet jumbo franks. You can get the sides, everything you need. You can even get steaks. We do this every year. It's become a family tradition. Start your own family tradition with Omaha Steaks. Again, 50% off site-wide right now. And if you go to omahasteaks.com with the 50% off site-wide, you get an extra $45 off if you use ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. omahasteaks.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Only inches separate you from the heavy rain trying to infiltrate your home. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your old roof is leaking, think of Findlay first. They're the extra effort experts, making sure you have a remarkable roof replacement experience. Water inside? Worried about recent heavy rains causing damage? You'll always win with Findlay. Schedule a free roof analysis. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof, roof.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
I know if I checked the internet browser history of a lot of you guys listening right now, I would come across advancedhair.com. That's because I've been telling you for months now to check out the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. You've seen the results if you've gone to the website. I've seen the results at the website. Life-changing hair restoration from Advanced Hair. Do yourselves a favor. If you haven't been yet, go to advancedhair.com and check out the before and after pictures. You'll see what they can do with your hair situation, whether it's a receding hairline, bald spots. Advanced Hair got you covered. It's a quick, simple one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed to grow for life. Guys, if you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair, guaranteed to grow.
Oh. Where'd that one come from? Listen, Shelley Winter filling in for Mark Arum. Oh, man, I listen to Mark every day. I don't hear...
These are the same bumpers.
The same really ones? I got to talk to Mark about his bumper music. So really quickly, they call pay off the tease. So I got a couple seconds. I've been talking about this over-under. So the toilet paper debate, over-under. Does your toilet paper hang, or is it over where the on deck, the wipe that's up top faces you, right? And under means it kind of hangs, and you pull it or pull it forward, and it kind of hangs and faces you that way. Well, a professor of clinical microbiology at UK's University of London, Primrose Freestone. I almost thought this was a fake name, but his name is Primrose Freestone. That sounds like a guy that would study toilet paper over under, right? But 250 years ago, the toilet paper was invented, so it's 250 years old, just like America. There's a lot of jokes in that. Anyway, for the under position, this is what he says. For the under position, there's less likely to be whole roll contamination. He said, because handling of the toilet roll from the over position requires the user to employ two hands to extract a square after doing one's business. One hand is used to hold the roll in place so it doesn't spin forward, depositing too much paper, while the other takes the next segment. On the other hand, the under method allows bathroom users to pin the sheets, quote, pin the sheets against the toilet wall, and tear them off with the same hand without having to touch the exterior of the roll. So in other words, what he's saying is under is better because you have less touching with your hands where you're doing your business than you're less likely to contaminate the roll with hand bacteria. I got to tell Mr. Freestone that I hope he didn't spend a lot of money studying this, because at the end of the day, your hand shouldn't have any bacteria on it. That's why you have toilet paper. But I don't know. I'm different. I got to tell you, I don't know if this means that I'm a psychopath. Somebody needs to study this, because it may show that I am really a psychopath. I just put my toilet on the roll. I don't really pay attention to whether it's over or under. And people that do, I think they're crazy. Because I get a roll, I pull it out the big bag of 30 rolls that I bought from Costco, and I just put it on the roll and keep it moving. I don't even know what up or down is. So I hope I'm not the crazy one. I think those of you who pay attention to over-under, you people are crazy. 448-720-750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. When we come back, we're going to talk about a DMV scam that many people are going through and a Trump phone. We got a lot to talk about. Opioid settlement as well. We'll be right back.
Skeeters biting you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple. We build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Sleep apnea could be silently wrecking your health. Untreated, it spikes your risk of heart disease, strokes, and diabetes. Are you snoring loudly? Waking up exhausted? Your body's sounding the alarm. Don't ignore it. Are you frustrated with a CPAP? Those bulky masks and noisy tubes aren't for everyone. Palmetto Sleep has a better answer. Custom oral appliances. Quiet, comfortable, and perfect for mild to moderate sleep apnea. Sleep better, feel better. No sleep lab needed. Get an at-home sleep test in your own bed, often covered by Medicare or your company plans. Save your health. Call Palmetto Sleep now at 770-230-0222. That's 770-230-0222. That's 770-230-0222. Palmetto Sleep, your health deserves better. Call 770-230-0222. That's the phone number. Get a good night's sleep now. Call Palmetto Sleep.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios. News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. This just in. Lawyers for Colin Gray, the father of Colt Gray, the accused Appalachia High School shooter, has asked a judge to reconsider the decision to bring in jurors from Hall County, saying they don't feel they can still get a fair trial. Judge Nicholas Prim declined that change, saying it would push the trial back too far. He did say if it's found that they cannot get a jury there, then he'd reconsider. But for now, it'll stay where it is. All right, partly cloudy today, hot and humid. Scattered storms late in the evening with an afternoon high of 89, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. An unsolved murder is being put back into the spotlight by Atlanta police.
It was almost 4 years ago that Katie Janis and her dog were found stabbed to death in Piedmont Park near the entrance on 10th Street. The 40-year-old had more than 50 stab wounds. No arrests were ever made. Not much evidence was left behind, but Atlanta police are once again asking for the public's help to solve the crime. Investigators say they're focused now on DNA evidence.
And WSB's Judd Higginbotham says a reward of up to $10,000 is being offered to help find the killer. Anybody with information is being asked to call Crime Stoppers. President Trump has cut his trip to Canada for the G7 summit short, given that the situation between Israel and Iran as the reason. The president also posted a warning on social media for people in Tehran to evacuate immediately. Robert Berger has more from Jerusalem.
People would like to see the United States bomb the nuclear facility known as Fordo. That's deep underground, and the Israelis really don't have the capability to hit it. The hope is that the U.S. will use its bunker buster bombs to do it, so all eyes over here are on Washington and on President Trump.
All right, we'll let you know if anything new happens in this developing story. Well, whether it's accurate or not, for the first time, social media is now the number one source for news here in the U.S.
The Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism found 54% of Americans get their news from social media. 50% turn to TV news. 73% of the Americans polled say they're worried about being able to tell what is true online.
Now, reporter Michael Wallace says that number likely bodes well for traditional news sources, including radio. The study's author insists accuracy and reliability are especially important with the rise of artificial intelligence. Well, the Labor Department's holding steady, but recent college graduates are struggling to find work. Correspondent Michael Wallace tells us.
The unemployment rate is 4.2%, but the Labor Department says for college grads, it's 6.6%, the highest in a decade.
It's really just still baffling to me.
Sarah graduated from Harvard 3 years ago, then earned her master's degree in London. She has applied to 250 jobs.
I know I shouldn't be entitled because I have the degree, but you would think it would help me get at least a job that pays rent.
Economists say many employers are waiting to see how the tariffs play out. They're not willing to take a chance on younger, less experienced workers.
All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 317 at 42,515. NASDAQ is also up more than 1.5%, and the S&P is up almost a full percent. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Just watched authorities hold all lanes on the downtown connector to clear a crash involving a bus. 7585 northbound near Freedom Parkway. That still has you heavy on the brakes as you're making your way up from 166 Langford Parkway, but it does look like all lanes are open now. And holding the right lane for dirt and gravel cleanup on 285 southbound past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. That west side outer loop starting to slow well before I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 89. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late tonight, fizzling out after midnight, lows in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high near 90. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, high 91.
It is 76 degrees in Canton. Monroe has 81, and it's 78 right now in Roswell. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Wednesday starting at 5 for Atlanta's Morning News, how retailers' reaction to the tariffs could actually be good news for you and me on WSB.
Coming up in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show with me, Shelley Winter, filling in. We're going to talk about the new Trump phone, also the DMV scam. It happened to me. I want to talk about it. Also, we're going to talk about the opioid settlement. Sackler and Purdue Pharma, this big, huge opioid settlement, and what it means to Georgians. We'll be right back.
Water in your basement or crawl space? AquaGuard Foundation Solutions will work with you to find the permanent solution your basement and crawl space needs to stay dry. Just visit aquaguard.net for a free inspection today. Got water? Remember, AquaGuard.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, Atlanta's engagement ring and wedding band destination since 1939. Why? Hand-picked diamonds that just shine brighter at a value that can't be beat. An unbelievable selection of engagement rings and wedding bands. And because we've been jewelers for generations, we can bring your dream ring to life with full custom abilities. So when it's time for the next chapter, come see Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939, D. Geller & Son, in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DIN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum all week long. I'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. I normally air Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. By the way, you can follow me on all my social media, Shelley Winter, across all social media, SHELLEYWYNTER. Got a text from a good friend of mine, my cousin Vinny and Deborah. Deborah Green, you got to hear this. My good friend Barry Fleming from Virtual Imaging. He's the president of Virtual Imaging. They're scanning. You hear their spots on the air here at WSB Radio. I've used them. I've gotten my body scanned. It works. It could save your life. Please use them if you can. He said, I haven't used toilet paper in 10 years. He only uses wipes.
I figured someone would say something.
He said he only used, I guess a lady called in and said we shouldn't be talking about this. It's bodily functions and toilet paper in the morning, so we won't talk about it anymore. But he only uses wipes. I may go to wipes. But the thing is, with me, money is very important to me. I can buy a roll of toilet paper for like 99 cents in an emergency. Wipes are like $3.
I use wipes, but then I got to dry it with toilet paper. Does that make sense?
Wow. That might be too much information.
Yeah, that might be too much.
That might be too much.
Sorry to the lady that called. My bad.
But wipes, I may go with wipes. I gotta get another raise to go with wipes. I could get Costco's got like 50 rolls for like $15. It's a little coarse, but it's okay. It serves the purpose. All right, ma'am, thanks for calling in. We'll stop it right there. Well, no, let's take a call. Go ahead, Sean in Chamblee.
Hey, Shelley. My wife and I did a study on this topic, and we found that if we went over, our cat had a field day and unspooled our toilet paper every time. So
every time when you go over?
When you go over. Yeah,
Wow.
If you go under, it just loops around, and doesn't unspool. If you go over, the whole thing
All right.
unrolls. So
There's a scientific study worth paying attention to. Great call, Sean. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much. So I went to the inauguration in January. I went up to D.C. for the inauguration in January, flew up and stayed with my sister, went to all the inaugural events, went to the parties and everything else, and came back home to Georgia and, did my radio show that Monday night, as a matter of fact. Actually, that Tuesday night, as a matter of fact. And about 2 weeks later, maybe 2.5 weeks later, I get a text. And the text says the D.C., DMV, the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, that I had an unpaid toll ticket and that I needed to pay this ticket. And so when I got the text, because I had just been in D.C., I said, oh, my God. And I started thinking back. And I did drive home from the inaugural ball, the main ball we went to. I was driving back, but I was driving in my sister's car. My sister Jennifer, shout out to Jennifer. And we did go through the toll, right? And because she had told us that she had the, thing that just pays it with her, is attached to her credit card. But for a second, I really thought that text first had come from her telling me, hey, brother, you owe me some money. But I was nervous at first because I believed it because, one, it looked real, but more importantly than that, I had just been in the D.C. area, the DMV area. And I really almost fell for it until I realized, wait a minute, I was in her car and she said, she's already attached. You can go through the toll and it would be paid for. But I almost fell for it. Well, the FBI right now is has issued a massive alert for especially iPhone users that this DMV text scam says you owe money for unpaid tolls has gotten even worse. They've just issued a new warning to 150 million iPhone users. I'm an Android guy, so you can tell how prevalent this scam is. And this happened to me months ago. To delete the text as soon as it pops into your message folder. So as soon as you see this text, delete it. Don't read it. Don't look at it. Don't let it sit there knowing it's a scam. Delete it. They said a new link is thought to worm its way into your phone and sneak off with more of your personal data. So you don't even have to click on it. You don't even have to open it up. So the FBI is issuing a warning to 150 million iPhone users in the U.S. to delete the text as soon as it pops up into your message folder. But it's a great segue into Trump. The Trump organization has launched a cell phone plan, unlimited text, phone calls, unlimited calls, text, and data. It's called T1 Phone, a phone service called T1 Phone by Trump Mobile. It would charge $47.45 a month and include unlimited calls, text, and data. And it plans to roll out a $500 phone that will be built in the U.S. But it doesn't say if it's an Android or not. Deborah Green, have you seen that yet? Do you know what it's going to be?
I don't think it's iPhone because he's kind of pushed back against Apple about, like, if you make a cheaper phone, build it here, don't, so he's kind of pushed. So I don't know if it's going to be running in iOS for Apple. It doesn't necessarily say Android. It might be... Remember when Windows tried to have a phone for a minute?
Yeah.
It might be like a third type of phone.
Right.
This was the first I heard on it yesterday, was just he was putting out a new phone. It's gold, and it's supposed to be made all here in the United States.
And it said the mobile phone plan, which is dubbed the 47 plan, won't require a contract or a credit check, and it's going to be $47.45 a month. I may not buy a brand new $500 gold phone, but I would seriously consider paying $47.45 a month for unlimited text, calls, and data. I mean, you know, because I'm paying a lot. I'm with AT&T now. I love them. They're very good. But the one thing about AT&T, they're a little bit high end. But the good thing is when I travel, I can still use my phone. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's the thing. Like, is it reliable? Do you always have a connection? Because you're not necessarily paying for the name. Sometimes you're paying for how well connected you are and those international things.
Eric Trump said it will revolutionize cell phones, mobile calling. It's going to be cheaper, $47 a month. You're going to have more internet, more international dialing for free. Hundreds of countries, international dialing for free. It's the biggest bang for the buck. That's from Eric Trump.
All the countries that were travel banned?
That's what I was getting. You stole my joke. Will it go to travel banned countries? Will I be able to call Ghana and Nigeria and places like that? Or will I be blocked every time you want to have a travel ban? But, you know, I would seriously consider getting on the plan, but I have to know more. But I'm certainly not going to pay $500 for a gold phone. They say the device will have a fingerprint sensor, and the ability to unlock using face recognition will include 250 gigabytes of internal storage and 12 gigabytes of RAM. You know, I think that's a good deal. I don't know. I love my phone, so I'm pretty cool with that. But the real question, Deborah Green, what's the real question? The real question is, will it be able to block the DMV phone scam texts?
So if we don't get spam, you'll buy it?
If I didn't get spam on my phone, if Trump can sell me a phone that blocks all spam, including politicians that want to raise money, including him, who sends me texts that want to raise money from me. I still get Trump texts. I still get Harris texts as well to raise money. I don't understand. You've already been elected and you already lost. Why am I still getting texts to buy something or to fundraise off of? But good for him. You know, I have no problems with Trump selling phones. I know there will be people who will yell and scream. I have absolutely no problems with Donald Trump and his family continuing to do business through the Trump organization. He's already built a brand. He's already built a name. He built a name brand before he became president, and I have no problems with him continuing to do, especially his children, because after 2026, he's a lame duck president, and that's it for him. So his children still should be able to make money, and I have no problems with it at all. It's just a matter of whether I want to buy a $500 phone, but I would seriously consider signing up for $47.45 a month for unlimited calls, texts, and data. But then again, what becomes the difference between Getro PCS and this Trump plan? Still cheap, right? It's kind of
again. It's all about connectivity.
Yeah, it is. It really is. 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Let's go check traffic with my dear friend and sister, Ashley Frasca.
Shelley, we're looking at a travel advisory now on the north side perimeter. As you roll out of Sandy Springs into Cobb County, at least 2 center lanes are blocked with a truck crash. 285 westbound right at the Chattahoochee River. Delays already starting back before Riverside, so you may want to avoid that stretch between 400 and I-75. And gravel cleanup continues on the west side perimeter. They're going to block that right lane for some time below I-20 on 285 south past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
All the notifications you need.
The story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
The local folks at Breda Pest Management know my house inside and out, and they've customized a unique plan that stops bugs and critters. Hey friends, it's Mark Aram. With Breda, it's always a familiar local person servicing my home and answering my calls. Never an irritating automated call center. Breda cares more. They're our neighbors, and they'll work harder for you. Doing it better is what the Breda family does. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, Breda.
No need to be afraid of bugs.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. There's a reason factory is in our name. It's who we've been since day one. In times of uncertainty, OMF offers something increasingly rare: stability and consistency. While others chase trends, we've stayed ahead of the curve by remaining steadfast in what truly matters: quality products, locally built, at factory direct prices. Our commitment to American-made components isn't new for us. It's what we've practiced since our founding. We carefully select domestic materials from trusted suppliers, ensuring every element of your mattress meets our exacting standards. Our skilled employees build superior two-sided mattresses right here in town, a practice many others have long since abandoned. As manufacturing landscapes shift and supply chains fluctuate, we continue doing what we've always done: create exceptional American-made mattresses, treat our customers with respect, and offer tried and true quality that stands the test of time. Experience the OMF difference at any of our showrooms or originalmattress.com.
2 keys to surviving a brutal Atlanta summer. Number 1, stay hydrated. Drink your water, folks. Number 2, make sure your air conditioning unit can handle your needs. It's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. You need AC this summer. You need an AC that works and is reliable, and you need to save money. Check out this offer. Get any sized AC, just $69.99 a month. That's it. 0 down. Low monthly payments, all future repairs, maintenance, even filters are no additional charge for life. An unbeatable lifetime warranty. Plus, you get 24/7 service and next day installations guaranteed, or Reliable pays you $500. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey y'all, Linda Beaver here, and summer starts now at Beaver Toyota. The trucks have been rolling in and we're loaded up with fresh inventory. Road trips, beach days, or just cruising, we have the perfect Toyota for your summer adventure. Get huge savings, low financing, plus Beaver benefits include lifetime powertrain warranty, lifetime oil changes, lifetime loaner cars, and more. The best selection, the best deals, but when they're gone, it's over. Summer starts now at Beaver Toyota, always providing you a world-class experience.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast Network is your home for real estate investing.
So why real estate?
We keep saying it, but the housing market is shifting more and more towards a buyer's market every week.
Guess what, folks? You can still buy real estate today.
You can buy a quality rental property today.
And build an investment portfolio that cash flows monthly.
These are my favorite markets for cash flow.
And build wealth long term.
The world has changed, but the best way to invest in real estate hasn't.
Search for the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Show anywhere you listen to your podcasts.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Shelley Winter filling in for Mark Arum. Quickly, let's go to Sheila in Riverdale. Go ahead, Sheila. Sheila's responding to, go ahead, Sheila. You tell people what you're calling for.
To the Genesis comment.
Yes, ma'am.
And also recently, Mike's comment. And I'm just thinking that an opinion, maybe it will be a great mental exercise if we at least consider the other opinion. put it on the shelf and think about it.
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the middle.
So let me.
right?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Sheila.
No, that's it.
Yeah, so let me tell you, I have been working on that because in the comments here that I can read, it says she listens to your show but feels you like to shut people down that do disagree with you, and I'm working on that because I find myself doing that, and I have to work on that. And I'm trying to get better at it. But
Yes,
sometimes
you do, Shelley, because I listen to you every night.
I
so
appreciate
that's
you.
Great.
I appreciate you,
Okay.
Sheila. I really do.
All
But
right.
I've been working on that. But a lot of times, I got to be honest with you, I get triggered. Right? I hate to
know.
use that
Yeah,
term.
That's the word that I chose for you. That's
Yep.
correct.
I do get triggered, especially when a guy calls in and asks me, "Are you a Christian?" Then you're not a real Christian, and so I get triggered, right? Because I struggle, by faith, I struggle with it, so it triggers me. But no, everyone listening, but no, Sheila, you're right, and I totally am being honest and transparent with you. I work on that not only in my personal life, but I work on it in my professional life as well to allow people to get their thought out and have the discussion. And I do it a lot, but I also fail a lot. So I'm working on that. Thank you for your call, Sheila.
That's all right. As you close with your show, God loves you.
Thank you, my sister. God bless
All
you.
right,
Thank
bye.
you. What a great call. She's absolutely right. I have to work on it. I mean, it causes me a lot. In my personal life, when I'm out and about with my boys or with personal friends, that happens, I get increasingly frustrated. But with my friends, I feel like I'm arguing with lesser beings. With the callers, I just feel like we're all as smart as each other. But my friends who don't listen to the show, I feel like, oh man, why am I wasting my time arguing with my best friend? He doesn't know anything. I'm a talk radio host. He's dumb. And so I get triggered and I start yelling. I got to work on that.
They're not in the Smart Kids Club.
They're not in the Smart Kids Club. So I do want to come back with Purdue Pharma. A $7.4 billion opioid settlement has won broad support from U.S. states and territories. It's very funny. Let me just read this opening line. Purdue Pharma has won support from attorneys general of 55 U.S. states and territories. But when it said 55, I was like, 55? They got it right, but it's and territories. $7.4 billion settlement. I do want to talk more about that when we come back. But let me say this. It says in this article, more than 850,000 people died from opioid-related overdoses since 1999. And the only penalty is $7.4 billion. I'm not saying it should be more money. I'm simply saying, how is it in a country like ours that no one's going to jail? You literally caused the deaths of more than 850,000 people, and not a single person's going to jail. Oh, wait, yeah, people are going to jail. The people that sold millions of pills made by your company. It's crazy. It's that really should bother a lot of us. That the people, the cartel leaders, if you will, are paying a fine and have to give up their company. But the little guys at the bottom, the little dealers that went to a pharmacy and bought 10 or 15 pills or got their prescription of opioids and then went out on the street and sold them to people, other people who got addicted to the Sackler family's product, those people sit in jail. But the people who actually made the product get off by paying $7.4 billion. And if you could pay $7.4 billion, clearly you got billions or more in the bank. It's sickening, this country. Sometimes I'm so mad to live here. I love it, but I get so mad. We'll be right back. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum.
These days, the Atlanta real estate market is just like Atlanta weather, unpredictable. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB every Saturday at 1 p.m. If there was ever a time to work with a true real estate expert, now is that time. In all my years in residential real estate, this is the most change and volatility I've seen. A misstep could cost thousands. This is when experience matters. My team and I are passionate about providing clarity to our clients through our expertise in real estate. So, if you're thinking of buying or selling a home, we can give you that clarity so you can make great choices and the best decisions. And yes, I host Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB, but you don't have to wait until Saturday for help. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and ask me anything. My team and I are here for you. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com for clarity in buying or selling your home.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Oh, popsicle drips, muddy shoes, and summertime messes. Don't let them take over your home. Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Zerorez uses their ZR water technology, no dirt attracting soaps, no harsh chemicals, just a truly clean, healthy home. Right now, take advantage of their summer sale. Get 15% off all services, that is carpets, air ducts, rugs, tile, and more, all 15% off. Just mention Chris Chandler or book now at ZeroRezAtlanta.com, and yet they do commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. A Barrow County judge reaffirming his decision to keep the trial for the father of the accused Appalachia High School shooter in the same community.
Lawyers for Colin Gray try again for a change of venue, but Judge Nicholas Prim says he wants to move forward with plans to pull jurors from neighboring Hall County and try the case in Barrow County this fall. Prim says if they can't find enough impartial jurors, he'll then reconsider, and they could look at options in South Georgia, which would likely push the trial to next year. Gray's accused of giving his 14-year-old son access to the weapon used in last September's shooting at Appalachia High School, where 4 people were killed. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Partly cloudy today, hot and humid. Scattered storms late in the evening. Highs around 89 today, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in about 2 minutes. Atlanta police looking for help in solving a murder from almost 4 years ago.
The crime scene was called gruesome. The body of Katie Janis was found by her girlfriend almost 4 years ago at the 10th Street entrance to Piedmont Park. She'd been stabbed more than 50 times. Her dog was also killed. Atlanta police investigators say they're now focusing on DNA evidence in the case, but are asking for any information possible from the public. Little evidence was ever found at the scene.
And WSB's Judd Higginbotham says anybody with information is being asked to call Crime Stoppers. A reward of up to $10,000 is being offered to help track down her killer. Israel and Iran launching a new round of attacks against each other as the conflict between the countries continues. Richard Engel has more.
This morning, a powerful Iranian missile slipped through Israeli air defenses, smashing into a bus terminal north of Tel Aviv. The missile dug a deep crater in the upscale suburb of Herzliya and burned the area.
Meantime, Israel is continuing to pound Iran with airstrikes hitting Iranian state TV while an anchor was on the air. Israel saying it has full air superiority over Iran and that it has killed another senior Iranian general. President Trump left the G7 summit in Canada early to focus on the situation. He told reporters aboard Air Force One that he does not want a ceasefire but an end to the conflict, adding that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. In DeKalb County, they're looking into weekend protests that ended in 8 people being arrested.
Hundreds of demonstrators gathered on Chamblee Tucker Road last Saturday protesting the president and his policies on immigration. When they neared the I-285 ramp, officers ordered them to keep to the sidewalks. When they stayed in the road, police released tear gas and arrested several of them. DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson released a statement reaffirming her commitment to protecting citizens' rights to lawful protest, while announcing she would be reviewing police officers' actions during the demonstrations. Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta City Council unanimously passing the city's most substantial update to its tree protection ordinance in 25 years, rewriting the rules for removal and replanting.
Seems nobody's 100% happy with Atlanta's new tree protection ordinance. Garrett Wiley with Greater Atlanta Home Builders calls it balanced.
I wouldn't chalk it up as a win for the development community, and I wouldn't chalk it up as a loss.
While tree advocate Catherine Kolb calls it anything but.
We need to protect more trees in the city of Atlanta. We're losing too many. We're losing too many at an unsustainable rate.
Before council member Liliana Bakhtiari voted for it, she said,
I'm going to be the thorn in multiple people's sides until we get this right.
Council member Michael Julian Bond says it's progress.
With this passing, the process is not over.
Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 317 at 42,515. NASDAQ is also in positive territory, up more than 1.5%, and the S&P is up almost a full percent. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco and the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Good morning, Sabrina. Not the best morning if you are traveling the outer loop out of Sandy Springs through Fulton and Cobb County, because they just held all lanes to get this truck crash moved to the shoulder. It's a temporary one, but all lanes blocked. I-285 west, the outer loop at New Northside Drive, exit 22. Brake lights already looking tough. In the meantime, if you're heading this way, you may want to take 400 south down 85 south up to 75 northbound as a quick fast track through here. Got some road work on the west side, 285 south, the inner loop, or the outer loop rather, at MLK Junior Drive, exit number 9, working in that right lane to get some gravel cleaned up through here. Got a couple extra minutes of delays as you pass I-20 in this spot. Elsewhere, got some volume in and out of downtown. 75, 85 northbound is the toughest spot. It looks like as you leave University Avenue, you're going to be slowing and going to brake lights all the way up towards North Avenue. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy this afternoon, hot and humid, high 89. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening through the midnight hour, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high near 90. Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, high 91.
It is 80 degrees right now in Marietta and 82 in Conyers. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 80 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you. I stand alone. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum until 12 noon, and then back again tonight at 7. And then after tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Alan Sanders will be in for me. So please keep it locked here. Coming up next, Eric Erickson. And then after Eric Erickson is Eric Von Hessler and the Von Hessler Doctrine. And then I will be back tonight at 7 p.m. I did want to finish this thought off about this Purdue Pharma $7.4 billion opioid settlement. So all the attorneys general, 55 U.S. states and territories, right? It's $7.4 billion settlement. So it includes $6.5 billion from the Sacklers, they own Purdue, and $900 million from Purdue Pharma. And part of the settlement is that the Sacklers would cede control of Purdue. But none of them are going to jail. None of them. Pay money and keep it moving. But you know who is in jail, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of little addicts and people at the bottom who sold their pills or sold their, prescriptions. They may get 20 pills, and they sold 10 to keep their addiction going. They're in jail. They're in jail. Pill mills selling the products, they're in jail. But the Sacklers, the inventors of the actual product, the people who went to chemists hired by them to say, hey, can you make a heroin-like pain pill that has all the same attributes of heroin that will addict people like heroin? Can you make that we could sell to people as a pain killer? A pain medication? And people would use it for pain, just like heroin. None of them going to jail. It's heartbreaking. It really is. This is Letitia James, who I'm no fan of politically for decades, and I'm no fan of now with this statement. Listen to this statement. For decades, the Sacklers put profits over people and played a leading role in fueling the epidemic. While no amount of money can fully heal the destruction they cause, these funds will save lives and help our communities fight back against the opioid crisis. I would say to Ms. James and all the other state attorneys general, why didn't you push for these people to go to jail in some state or at the federal level? More than 850,000 people dead because of your product, and no one goes to jail except for the people at the bottom? This is why people are so upset. This is why I say no more war. It's why I talk about the things that I talk about. I'm a conservative. I'm a capitalist. If you killed more than 850,000 people and no one sees the inside of the jail at the top, that's sickening to me. It's completely sickening to me. But the good thing about all of this money is Georgia's going to get some of this money. And did you know Georgia has a Georgia Opioid Settlement Advisory Commission? Sam Hatcher is the chairperson. We're trying to get him on the show. He's executive counsel in the office of Governor Brian Kemp. And so this money, settlement from these monies, will come through this Georgia Opioid Settlement Advisory Commission. And I'm very happy with what's going on. Because a lot of this money, probably 100% of this money, is going to go to recovery centers. It's going to go to harm reduction. It's going to go to prevention. It's going to go to treatment. I'm very happy about that, and I'm glad the governor set up this settlement advisory commission. So if you're in any way, shape, or form affiliated with recovery of addicts or housing addicts or helping addicts, and please look to try to apply for a grant with the Georgia Opioid Settlement Advisory Commission. Mr. Sam Hatcher is the chairperson. Reach out to them. See if you can get some much-needed monies to help prevent addiction, to treat addiction, and to get the message out about addiction. That's the good part of this. But no amount of money can make up for the more than 850,000 lives impacted. And the Sacklers just carry on with life. They pay $6.5 billion, and they just carry on. Yet we will, I don't know. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a loony bird on the left, but I don't think anybody would disagree with my position on that. The people with no money are in jail. The people with all the money pay out $6.5 billion, still sitting on billions. Doesn't even touch their life as a family at all. Crazy. Let's go to Craig in Woodstock. Hey, Craig.
Hey, Shelley. Great show. Love you guys for what you do. Thanks very much for who you are and what you portray out there in this crazy world.
Oh, thank you, Craig. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, Craig, I'm supposed. You know what? To keep it fair. No, I can't believe you said that, Craig. Okay, go ahead. I got to yell at everybody. Go ahead, my man. I'm just kidding.
The truth is the truth, right? Whether you want to hear it or not at times.
I appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
But no, I'm in healthcare, and unfortunately, my family's been involved with opioids and the recovering. And thanks very much for your message. My question is this: what's the difference between the opioids and the Slacker family and the tobaccos companies? Nobody who put the tobacco company went to jail. They all knew the nicotine was addicting.
And caused
death. Why they put it in there. But
Yep.
the thing is, I think, is because of the fact that it's a long-term death as opposed to a quick death with overdoses. So I don't know, but what's the difference?
There's none.
She went to jail.
Yeah, back when Philip Morris and the tobacco executives were testifying, I wasn't on radio at the time, but my opinion back then was that someone needed to go to jail. There's a great Law and Order episode about a crazy guy who goes into Central Park and he kills a bunch of nurses who happen to be sitting out in Central Park. Well, people, but several of them were nurses from the nursing school. And he kills a bunch of women in the park, right? Mass shooting in Central Park. And so they catch the guy. And, Law and Order is basically the investigation's halfway through the show. And at the bottom of the hour, the prosecution is the other half of the hour, right? And I'm a huge Law and Order fan. And this particular episode of Law and Order, they got the guy, he went on trial, and then they found out that he had jimmied he had added an attachment to the gun that allowed it to fire more than the weapon, more bullets than it's supposed to. And Jack McCoy found out that the manufacturer of the gun that the guy used knew that there was a way that you can hack the gun to make it shoot more bullets, in other words, right? And he went after the gun manufacturer. And there's a scene in that particular episode of Law and Order where he pours out the bullets that the guy shot, and he poured them out from a big bucket, and they just fell on the ground and made a bunch of noise and everything like that. And so the jury found the gun manufacturer guy guilty. Right? They found him guilty. They're going to put him in jail. And then a judge steps in and says, look, this is ridiculous. This guy, you can't jail this guy for this. And it was a very powerful episode about gun control and all of that stuff. But it also spoke volumes as to how impossible it is, no matter how much these guys know, their knowledge of everything, no matter how much they know or don't know, it's impossible to put these guys and hold them responsible at any court. corporate level. You can use healthcare, insurance companies, you can use gun manufacturers, you can use any number of people to make an argument as to why some CEO should go to jail for helping, for harming people. But great call on some tobacco stuff. Great call, Craig.
Thanks, Shelley. Have a good one.
You too, my friend. You too. Great call. I love great calls. That was a good one. When we come back, I'm a little behind on my topics. So I'm going to take another call, and then when we come back, I want to talk about how City of Atlanta politicians are snubbing Keisha Lance Bottoms. So let's go to Jim in Peachtree Corners. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Shelley.
Hey.
I just had some extra information about your opioid crisis. I had a friend of mine. He knew a guy. He got in a motorcycle accident, and he was on disability. And he had a prescription he would get for 240 oxycodons a month, and this is through the government was prescribing this. And I just couldn't believe that that's enough to kill somebody. And here he kept on getting his oxys for years. They finally cut down on it, but the government was prescribing a lot of those drugs. And you got to look at that side of it. How much was the government prescribing to their Medicaid patients, I guess you want to call them.
Right. Great call, Jim. Great point. Great point.
They don't want anybody to get into how much some people were getting. And
right.
This
and
guy
I think,
was selling them.
And I hate to do this in my defense of the government. I think on the government's role, I don't think they knew what was happening. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah, I'm sure the doctors were prescribing.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think and individual doctors. And there's so many great movies about that whole situation. There's some good ones out there on Netflix. If you just search Netflix for opioid abuse movies, there's some really good ones that speak directly to what was going on. And I can't remember the one that really featured the Sacklers and the family and everything. They had there was an African-American woman who was an investigator. And it's a really good movie. I can't remember the name. I'm sure 448.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. This smart audience listening, I know someone will call in with the name of that movie, but there's some really good ones out there. Great call, Jim. You have a wonderful day, my friend.
You too, Shelley.
Yes, sir. Bye. God bless. Thanks for listening. We're going to go check traffic in a few seconds, but I do want to tell you, coming up next, I do want to talk about Keisha Lance Bottoms. As you know, she was on the Mark Arum show, and she's also been on my show. I spent about an hour with her on my show. She is running for governor, as many of you know. I am a conservative. I'll be voting on the Republican side 9 times out of 10. I'll be voting for my good friend Burt Jones, but I'm also trying to get every single official who's running for office statewide on my show, and hopefully we can schedule everyone, including Attorney General Chris Carr, and I'm fair with everybody. But I had Keisha Lance Bottoms on my show, and now there's a story coming out of the AJC that says Atlanta leaders snub former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' run for governor. I'm going to tell you, when we come back, I'm going to tell you why that is very, very good for Keisha Lance Bottoms. We'll be back. We will be right back. I'm Shelley Winter, filling in for Mark Arum. Now let's go check the situation in traffic with my little brother, Andrew Seco.
Good morning, Shelley. Not the best morning, though, if you're leaving Sandy Springs towards I-75, 285 West, the outer loop. Only a right lane getting by with this crash in fuel cleanup here right at New Northside Drive, exit number 22. Delays already back a few miles, about an extra 20 minutes of commute time in your drive this morning. You may just want to take 400 south on 85 south. That can get you up 75 north to bypass all of that. And some trouble on the southwest side. Just going to see if we can get the DOT to move this camera. A big delay spot leaving Fairburn 85 northbound. It's starting to crowd in. The brake lights are right there, right at 285, exit number 68. This report sponsored by Echo Park Speedway. Experience the Quaker State 400 available at Walmart Saturday, June 28th. Under the lights in Atlanta. Get your tickets now at echoparkspeedway.com. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
Just a word of wisdom from your friend Mark Aram. A damaged roof doesn't always lead to an entire roof replacement project. As a full-service Atlanta roofing company, my friends at Dr. Roof offer comprehensive roof repairs that will lengthen the lifespan of your existing roof and ensure that it will continue to protect your home as it should. It's storm season. Get peace of mind from my friends at Dr. Roof. They've been in business for over 35 years, and Dr. Roof offers up to a 5-year warranty on roof repairs. Get all the info online at drroof.com.
At Ameris Bank, we know that it's never just business when it's your business. I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Whether your business is looking to optimize cash flow, improve your payment technology, or grow more quickly, my team and I are here and ready to help with a superior level of service, smart banking technology, and local market expertise. I invite you to reach out to my team by visiting amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out this great deal. Right now, USDA Choice Boneless New York Half Strip Steaks are only $7.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
These days, the Atlanta real estate market is just like Atlanta weather, unpredictable. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB every Saturday at 1 p.m. If there was ever a time to work with a true real estate expert, now is that time. In all my years in residential real estate, this is the most change and volatility I've seen. A misstep could cost thousands. This is when experience matters. My team and I are passionate about providing clarity to our clients through our expertise in real estate. So, if you're thinking of buying or selling a home, we can give you that clarity so you can make great choices and the best decisions. And yes, I host Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB, but you don't have to wait until Saturday for help. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and ask me anything. My team and I are here for you. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com for clarity in buying or selling your home.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's Best Choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
Has your pest control company told you they won't be coming inside anymore, and they raised your prices? Scott Slade here from my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. They protect the inside and outside of your home. So if your pest company is doing less, charging more, you need Breda to protect the inside and outside of your home. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
That's you, looking at your garage door, and you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Woo, let's go. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum. I normally air Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. And then the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Alan Sanders will be filling in for me at night as I continue to fill in for Mark Arum all week. So I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Well, we'll see. Depending on how today went, we'll see. I do want to say something. You heard in our commercial break, Deborah Morton, who hosts Inside Georgia Real Estate every Saturday. I actually host that with Deborah Morton every Saturday at 1 p.m., and I host the Car Guys show every Saturday, 12 noon. So if you're so disposed, you're in the car on Saturdays from 12 to 2, please check me out as I co-host the Car Guys show 12 to 1 and Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton, Inside Georgia Real Estate at 1 p.m. And she's very knowledgeable about Georgia real estate, and everything she says in that spot that you heard is true. She's as smart as a whip when it comes to real estate and all things. She's very good. So please check us out every Saturday, 1 p.m. So the headline reads in the AJC, Atlanta leaders snub former mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' run for governor. That's what the headline reads. Humberto Garcia, one of the most vocal opponents of the against the Buckhead City movement, he co-founded Neighbors for a United Atlanta. He fought aggressively to keep the city intact. Well, he sent out to hundreds of Georgians that he was endorsing State Senator Jason Estevez for governor. I'm trying to get State Senator Estevez, we've spoken, trying to get him on my show in the evenings as well because he's running for governor. And he sharply criticized former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. So the headline reads, and these are, that I can talk about the AJC because all my friends are at the AJC and we love each other, all right? So I can say this. But the headline reads, Atlanta leaders snub. Only one did. Only one did. Only one did. And he's fairly new Atlanta. He's a fairly new Atlanta leader. He's not, the prominent Atlanta leader. Now, again, I'm not here advocating. I'm not going to vote. Miss Lance Bottoms was on my show. Mrs. Lance Bottoms was on my show. And she knows my politics. She knows who I like and what side of the fence I hail from. But she did come on the show and stayed a long time. So this is not me sitting here defending her necessarily. I'm just talking about the headline. And Atlanta leaders have not snubbed her. One did. One did. And that, I don't know if that is a snub as much as he's endorsing another guy. It's a primary. Andrew Young is going to endorse somebody. Shirley Franklin's going to endorse someone. There are a bunch of Atlanta leaders who are going to endorse in this Democrat primary different people. It doesn't mean they're snubbing one. I think that was an unfair headline by my friends over at the AJC. Keisha Lance Bottoms, I may not be voting for her, but I will tell you this. Anybody that shortchanges her or thinks she does not, quote unquote, have a chance is sorely mistaken and is really not looking at the lay of the land. She does have a very good chance, definitely, of getting through the primary. And depending on where the world is in 2026, we just talked about coming on the show. We talked about going to war. If we're at war in the Middle East, trust me, she will nationalize that race as she could walk into the governor's mansion in 2026. We'll be right back. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum.
You don't want to play games when it comes to your roof. That's why you should call Finley Roofing, the experts who believe manners matter and who will treat your home like their own. So you'll be sure you get your roof done right. Learn more at finleyroofing.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate is the easiest way to sell your home. You can save time, make the most money, and eliminate all the hassle this summer. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate can sell your home with the strongest all-cash offer in the industry and help you move on your timeline. With over 67,000 satisfied clients, you can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Lawyers for Colin Gray, the father of Colt Gray, the accused Appalachia High School shooter, asking a judge today to reconsider his decision to bring in jurors from Hall County, saying they don't think they'll get a fair trial. Judge Nicholas Prim declining the change, saying it would push the trial back too far. He did say if it's found that they cannot get a jury there, then he'd reconsider. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be partly cloudy, hot and humid. Scattered storms late in the evening. Afternoon highs around 89, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Detectives are renewing the call for the public's help in solving a 4-year-old murder case, the case of Catherine Janis. She and her dog were stabbed to death at Piedmont Park in July of 2021. An autopsy showing she was stabbed more than 50 times. Her girlfriend, Emma Clark, found the body near the entrance to the park of 10th Street and Charles Allen Drive after using her Find My iPhone app. Crime Stoppers asking for the public's help in solving this murder. Tipsters can remain anonymous and could be eligible for a $10,000 reward. 2 teenage suspects are behind bars, and police are searching for a third after a woman is shot in a drive-by shooting. It happened in Griffin. The woman was shot in the head and is in critical condition right now. Police say they quickly identified the suspect's car and used flock cameras to find them. A 19-year-old and 17-year-old are in custody. The third suspect police are looking for is a 19-year-old, Namaya Ridgway. Anybody with information being asked to call Griffin Police. The labor market is holding steady, but recent college graduates are struggling to find jobs. We get more now from correspondent Michael Wallace.
The unemployment rate is 4.2%, but the Labor Department says for college grads it's 6.6%, the highest in a decade.
It's really just still baffling to me.
Sarah graduated from Harvard 3 years ago, then earned her master's degree in London. She has applied to 250 jobs.
I know I shouldn't be entitled because I have the degree, but you would think it would help me get at least a job that pays rent.
Economists say many employers are waiting to see how the tariffs play out. They're not willing to take a chance on younger, less experienced workers.
And retail sales fell sharply in May as consumers pulled back on spending. The Commerce Department saying sales dropped nearly 1% last month. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 96 at 42,419. NASDAQ is down almost 0.5%, and the S&P is also in the red. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Watching those brake lights build as you leave Sandy Springs on the north side. It's a really tough scene with this travel advisory. We might need to issue a gridlock alert with this. Over 30-minute delays out of Sandy Springs, 285 westbound, the outer loop. We're at New Northside Drive, exit 22. Several left lanes blocked here. It has just ruined the ride as you're leaving Dunwoody towards I-75 and Smyrna Vinings. If you're in the area, you may want to take 400 south to 85 south, up 75 north. If you've yet to hit 85 on 285, take 85 south down up to 75 north. That'll get you right around that delay spot here. Watching the brake lights fill on the southwest side, 85 northbound might have something jamming you up right there at 285, exit number 68. And it looks like we might have something brewing in the heart of downtown. DOT telling me crash blocking at least one lane. Gonna pour through the jam cam, see what we can find here. 75, 85 southbound right before I-20, exit number 247. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 89. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms late tonight, fizzling out after midnight, lows in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high near 90. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, high 91.
It is 81 degrees in South Fulton, Powder Springs. You have 80 degrees, and it's 80 in Kennesaw. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
I try even when I don't agree.
The opinions expressed are his.
To at least exercise some basic empathy.
And that's what makes you listen.
Coming in like a wrecking ball, taking it all out. It's fantastic.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up in 2 minutes, I'm Shelley Winter filling in for Mark Arum. Coming up in 2 minutes, we're going to talk about Atlanta. The city of Atlanta is finally going to do something to help the homeless. Wait till you hear why. And also, Will Smith, yes, 56-year-old Will Smith has a new song out. We need to talk about that. We'll be right back.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Arum here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
How easy is it to save energy and money in seconds? Power down unused devices, swap out traditional bulbs for LEDs, and adjust your thermostat for the season. Get more tips at georgiapower.com/energy efficiency today. Ready, set, save.
Right now, Beaver Toyota of Cumming is loaded with fresh inventory, and they're offering huge savings, low financing, and all the Beaver benefits. See them on the web at beavertoyotacumming.com. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming, the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
It is officially summer break, and we can all take a deep breath. Well, only if your air ducts are clean. Call the cleaning pros at Zero Res to get your ducts insanely clean. And now you can take advantage of their summer sale for 15% off all services, including carpet, area rugs, and air duct cleanings. For a limited time, mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get 15% off your next service. That is right, any service, 15% off. Use promo code SUMMERSALE when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. Packed him in that ox so tight, I couldn't get no sleep that night. Rolling thugs, chips and ham.
Shelley Winter filling in. I love this song. I'm sorry, I get lost. I get lost in the music sometime. Lord, Lord, Lord. What a great tune from the great movie Glory. That's a powerful scene. If you've never seen Glory, you should see it immediately. So I'm Shelley Winter filling in for Mark Arum. I'm back at 7 p.m. and then all the rest of the week, Alan Sanders is going to be taking over at 7 p.m. as I continue to fill in for Mark Arum all week. So there's a fascinating story, and I don't know how I feel about it. So I'm going to read it to you, and you guys think about it. And you could call in 448-720-750, 1-800-WSB-TALK, and tell me what you think. But this is the story. The headline reads, Atlanta plans to rehouse 400 people ahead of World Cup. So when the Super Bowl came here, the city of Atlanta did the exact same thing. They cleared out the homeless, don't know where they put them, but they weren't around. They did it during the Olympics, but during the Olympics, it wasn't, the problem wasn't as visual. You didn't see it everywhere. But when the 2 Super Bowls came to Atlanta, they definitely just moved out the homeless. Like, you didn't see them. All Super Bowl week, you didn't see homeless people anywhere. And they're doing the same thing for FIFA. So now here's where I'm torn, because I my thing is, how do you move people off the streets to make it look nice, right? And then just allow them to come back, which is what they've done in the past. But under our great mayor, Andre Dickens, and I think he's done a wonderful job, this is called Downtown Rising. City leaders call it Downtown Rising. The goal is to use $212 million to rehouse 400 people by the end of the year. On Friday, the mayor broke ground on a 100-unit affordable development in Mechanicsville. It's the 4th such project after the city shut down several encampments over the last few months. They also shut down one of the largest homeless shelters in the city of Atlanta right there on Pine Street, which had been there for many, many years. They shut that down, and now that's getting ready to be a condo development. I'm just telling you the facts, my friends. I'm just telling you the facts. The city has displaced so many people instead of fixing the conditions under which they lived. They just displaced them. But there's a nonprofit working with the city of Atlanta directly to get people permanent housing by next year called Partners for Home. Ms. Vassell said her strategy is to get people housed first. Partners for Home said the Downtown Rising campaign likely won't be done in time for the World Cup. Homeless people around Pryor Street worry the city will give up after tourists leave. And they should be worried. There's a prominent homeless shelter down on Pryor Street. And they're trying to house people. I think that's a noble goal, but it's about 20 years too late. And all they're doing now is moving people, they're eyesores. They're considered eyesores. These are human beings. They're homeless. They have mental problems. They have addictions. They have all kinds of things going on in their lives. And completely honest with you, I don't know what the fix is. But I know moving them before FIFA comes, and I'm hearing, $70 million to the coffers of Georgia, particularly Metro Atlanta. Airbnb rentals will go up. But moving these people, these humans, out of the way so the tourists don't see them, it's a pattern in big cities all across the country when big events come. And it's really sad to see. Now, I get these developments, I don't see how you have affordable housing. What does that mean to a homeless person? What does affordable mean to a homeless person? You know what I mean? Like, please explain that to me. It says here, 100-unit affordable development in Mechanicsville. What does that mean? If you're homeless, you probably can't afford much. What does that mean? This city had projects that did not work for people. People were stuck in poverty. People were stuck in bad schools. And as the city became a gentrified, different city, what the city did was they destroyed the projects, Bankhead Courts all around the city, destroyed these projects, dispersed the people, and replaced the project with 500,000 and up condo units. And it's great for the city. It's great for business. But the people who elected the people that moved them out, they're still there. And they run every year talking about how much they care about the people. But they didn't. Renee Glover and that administration, the Franklin administration at that time, and I love Shirley Franklin. I think she was a wonderful mayor, but on this we disagree. They tore down the projects and built high-rise condos. And that's why the city of Atlanta to this day has the highest income inequality in the country. And it was all Democrats who did that. And the same thing here. FIFA's coming. The world is coming to Georgia. The world is coming to Atlanta. We could showcase our great city, and we want to do that, but we got to move the homeless out the way. Can't let the people see that we have homeless people wandering the streets. It's a sad state of affairs, really sad state of affairs. Let's hope something is done about it. And I'll be honest with you, I cannot tell you what should be done. I hate to say that. I hate to admit that. I don't know what you do about people who have mental problems, who live on the street. I don't know. But I know just making them disappear for 2 or 3 weeks is not the answer. So really quickly, I want you to hear this. This is Will Smith, 56-year-old Will Smith, his new single. Listen to this.
I like pretty girls. Girls, 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 girls. I love pretty girls. Girls, 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 girls. I like pretty girls. Girls, 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 girls.
56-year-old man here.
Pretty girls. Girls, 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 girls.
Listen to this.
You don't gotta wait in line tonight. You too fine.
Talking about the club.
5 + 5, you a dime tonight. It's a full house, better play your cards right. I'ma post your pick if you pose.
I'ma post your ticket if you pose. It could change your life.
Hold up, wait, pose.
So Will Smith, 56 years old, talking about waiting online at the club, and he could change your life. He's going to stamp your ticket. Let me say something. With the Diddy trial and all that's going on in the world today around human trafficking, and men, older men, and younger girls, not in the normal sense where you fall in love, like my case, you fall in love with someone that may be younger than you. I'm talking about the creepy side of all of it. Will Smith sounds creepy. He just literally, at 56 years old, made a song called I Like Pretty Girls. Let me tell you, as a man, and I know a bunch of men out there that are listening to me right now, we don't call women girls anymore. It's creepy. No guy I know, I don't care what background they have, I don't care what political persuasion they are, none of us call women girls. I'm never driving down the street or sitting at a bar or watching the U.S. Open in some sports bar, and I look over to my boys who are sitting there with me and we're watching a game or whatever together, and I say, wow, that's a pretty girl over there, because they don't look at me like, yo, you're creepy, dude. She's a woman. So for Will Smith at 56 years old to make a song, I Like Pretty Girls, is very, very creepy. Then he's talking about being in a club at 56 years old. At our age, you don't need to be in a club. If I'm looking to, move on from a previous relationship, trust me, I'm going to Publix or church. I'm not going to find the next woman in my life, if I have to, in a club. Deborah Green, what do you think? Can we call you ladies girls?
It depends on what you're talking about. Like, if we're having a girls' night, okay. Otherwise, yes, my friends and I are ladies. We're not girls.
Right. And at 56 years old, what are your thoughts on Will Smith's new single, I Like Pretty Girls?
Well, the first thing I thought is that it sounds like an old Kanye song, like directly like an old Kanye song, which is probably also not a person you want to be emulating right now with a lot of his controversy that he has going on. But I feel like Will Smith has gotten away from what he was known for. He was known for these party tracks. Overall, a clean rapper, right? Never really any bad words in his stuff. And I feel like he's trying to compete with a younger audience, obviously, but it's not who he is. Like, for our generation, probably, he's always going to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't need to sway too far from that, even though he's done a ton of movies. But I feel like he's trying to get too far away from it, and it just doesn't fit him.
And not only that, if you've seen the video, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, in the video, the girls, they're okay. I wouldn't say they're pretty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Deborah Green. Let's go. Before I get any more traffic, let's go check traffic.
And right now, looking at what is now a gridlock alert as you leave Sandy Springs. Over 30-minute delays out of Georgia 400, 285 West, the outer loop. We're at New Northside Drive, exit 22, only a right lane getting by. It has just destroyed the ride out of Sandy Springs. If you're in the area, you want to take 85 south up to 75 northbound. If you're already past 85, go down 400 south to 85 south. From there, you can also take 75 north as a quick bypass through here. And it looks like we're still slowing and going out of Union City. The crash in at least one right lane. 85 northbound as you approach 285, exit number 68. Delays already back towards Jonesboro Road. Might be time to consider taking Highway 29 as a quick bypass option. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hassler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Every year for the 4th of July, my family invites over friends, and I get a big box of burgers and franks from Omaha Steaks, and we grill out. It's going to be the same this year. Right now, for the 4th of July sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at Omaha Steaks. Just like me, I don't get a special. I take the discount as well, and you can use the promo code ERIC at checkout and get an extra $45 off. So it's already 50% off site-wide, and then you put in ERIC as your promo code, and you get $45 extra off, minimum order required. You get unparalleled quality from Omaha Steaks. It's deliciousness. Get the burgers, get the gourmet jumbo franks. You can get the sides, everything you need. You can even get steaks. We do this every year. It's become a family tradition. Start your own family tradition with Omaha Steaks. Again, 50% off site-wide right now. And if you go to omahasteaks.com with the 50% off site-wide, you get an extra $45 off if you use ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. omahasteaks.com.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. You can save time, make the most money, and eliminate the hassle this summer. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? SafeStep walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-414-4420 and save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. SafeStep walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-414-4420 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-414-4420 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work.
See, this is a song about beautiful women. This works. Sean Kingston, he was a young kid. He's calling beautiful girl, but he was a boy when he made this song. It made sense. Not 56-year-old Will Smith. Come on, Will, do better. I want to end the show, and I appreciate everyone listening. If you tuned in, by the way, we post the shows right on WSBRadio.com. So if you want to listen to the whole show, also follow me on social media. I posted clips from earlier in the show on my Facebook page, Shelley SHELLEY WYNTER, and you can see old clips. And I'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. to do my regular show 7 to 9, and tomorrow morning I'll be back at 9 a.m. and then Alan Sanders will fill in for me Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So please don't miss him. He's very good, very talented young man. I want to end with this. This is not a sports show. We don't talk sports, but I did want to talk a little bit about sports, but that ties into real life. What we're seeing going on in our world today, wars being waged by leaders, people defending themselves, people attacking, but the people, the regular people, they're not for this. The people of Iran don't want to wipe out Israel. The leadership of Iran does. The people of Israel they want to defend themselves, but they don't want to go to war. People here in America, we don't want to go to war. We just want to live our lives. But our leaders increasingly make decisions, in our names, right? But they're not really in our names. But we elect them and they go off on these things and they make these decisions. I want to talk about a sports story that's about regular guys. J.J. Spawn won the U.S. Open. So dude is a regular guy, and he just won the U.S. Open. How much of a regular guy is J.J. Spawn? He won on a 64-yard, incredibly miraculous putt. But more importantly than that, you know where he practices? On a municipal course in Scottsdale. And you know what he said when they asked him, why do you practice on a muni course? And he said, because it puts me closer to the everyday regular golfers, and it keeps me humble. And it was humility that he used to win the U.S. Open this past Sunday. He's a regular guy. The NBA Finals are going on, and I've been watching them. Indiana Pacers versus the OKC Thunder. Regular guys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's the MVP of the league. He's a regular guy. He still drives a Honda. He doesn't spend his money recklessly. He doesn't buy a bunch of jewelry. He still lives in a home with his parents. And he gives a lot of his money to charity, to children, and education. Regular guy. I think it's important to highlight these groups of men, particularly Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton, who's the star for Indiana, regular guy. Don't hear about him, don't see him. He's not out there. He's not on TikTok flashing a lot of jewelry and flashing fancy cars. These are regular guys. A lot of the Pacer players, they are just kind of regular guys. I really wanted to highlight this because I think it's time for us as Americans to return to being regular guys and acting like regular guys. Guys who get up at 3 o'clock in the morning like J.J. Spawn to go to CVS to get medicine for his daughter on the eve of the final day of the U.S. Open, and he's in contention. Regular guys. Let's all strive to go back to being regular guys, even in the age of social media. My name is Shelley Winter, filling in for Mark Arum. I'll be back tonight at 7 o'clock, and I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. I appreciate you all, and know this in your heart of hearts. God loves you. Peace.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Private equity firms are